McAllister, Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo and Ekitike. Manchester City, Marmoush is over the ball. There is the whistle from Craig Pawson. It's Marmoush who plays it back to Donnarumma, who is in goal. Mateus Nunes, Husanov, Gay and Ait Nouri. Then Rodri with Bernardo Silva, O'Reilly, Semenyo, Marmoush and Haaland. And it is Manchester City in the sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks with the dark blue tops, who are in possession, and Husanov trying to play it forward from the right back position, hits it straight into Ekitike and the ball bounces out of play for a throw-in to the visitors. So for both of these clubs this season, they are very much in the slipstream of Arsenal, the good ship Arsenal, 9 points clear at the top of the table, which is their biggest lead at the top since Arsenal last won the league back in 2004. So their position as favourites is probably as strong as it's ever been. But remember, Arsenal do have to go to Manchester City in the middle of April, as Mark Gay is being booed because he's in Manchester City blue, not in Liverpool red. Hits it long downfield and Konate is able to out-muscle Marmoush and play the ball back to Alisson. Liverpool, as they like to in the first half, are defending the Kop. Bernardo Silva wins the ball back. Bernardo Silva there in the middle. Haaland with a chance. Alisson comes out, gets a touch on it, and it wouldn't bounce back to Haaland, who slaps his hands together in frustration. And now Semenyo down in the Liverpool left-back area is being tigerishly challenged by Kerkez and Wirtz, and Liverpool have won the throw-in.
And Erling Haaland still hasn't scored at Anfield. What a wonderful opportunity it was.
And now it's Liverpool who break forward with Gakpo, but Manchester City have got men back, and he has to go back towards the halfway line. Yes, Erling Haaland, 3 appearances here for Manchester City in the Premier League and yet to score, but he did score one of the goals against Liverpool when they won 3-0 back in November, quite convincingly. Although if you remember that match, it was tinged with controversy when Virgil van Dijk's goal was ruled out. That would have made it 1-1. Remember Robertson on the goal line, who was adjudged to be interfering with play in an offside position. Ball played forward from Konate, and Ekitike will get the ball down on the turf, and there is the offside flag against Gakpo. And Mateus Nunes is saying, why didn't you flag early? Everyone knew it was offside.
You're just getting a chance to look at that replay, the Erling Haaland chance again. It was a lovely ball through, slipped in from Bernardo Silva, slipped in between the two Liverpool central defenders. And Alisson, to his credit, he comes rushing out, blocks the space very quickly. Good save from the Liverpool goalkeeper.
Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. That's the voice of Paul Robinson, Premier League goalkeeper, England World Cup goalkeeper, sitting with us high up here in the Five Live commentary position, way above where Arne Slot and Pep Guardiola are standing, both with their hands in their pockets on the edge of the coaching area. Should point out actually that Haaland did score in the Champions League here in his Red Bull Salzburg days, but not yet in the Premier League with Manchester City here. And this run that he's on at the moment, having not scored in his last 21 attempts on goal in the Premier League, bar the penalty that he scored against Brighton. It is his longest run like that in the league since he was a 17-year-old playing back in Norway. The ball is back with Donnarumma, who passes it to Mark Gay inside the penalty area, got rid of it quickly. He was under pressure but was able to play it across the back line, and it's just kept in by Husanov, who didn't have a Liverpool player with him, so he was able just to step off the pitch, backheel it back in. And then Donnarumma again, who had a brilliant match, remember, last season, PSG, on the way to their treble here. Husanov tries to clear, didn't get it away. Ekitike pulls it back across. I thought the ball might have been out, but it is still in play. And now Manchester City are able to work it away, which they do very effectively. And O'Reilly is able to bring it forward with pace over the halfway line, but then misplaces a pass, although Haaland might get there ahead of Van Dijk, but not so. However, the Van Dijk clearance gives it back to Manchester City. Marmoush now to Semenyo. He's going to try a shot from 23 yards out, but he skied it halfway up the Kop.
Well, 4.5 minutes in, and this is certainly living up to the billing, isn't it? Wide open, both teams attacking. Good chance for both teams, one at each end. Bernardo Silva had to get back into his own box there to rescue. Half a mistake from Mark Gay. Did really well. Ekitike closed him down really quickly. Got to Kuzanov, put it across the 6-yard box. Mo Salah just couldn't quite get there. Bernardo Silva nipped in.
Yes, I've come to a few of these matches over the years that have been quite cagey, but with Arsenal having that 9-point lead, Manchester City will feel they've got to win this. And also, as Kirkes plays it forward, but Gay was able to step in between Ekitike and Gakpo and was able to pass it back to Donnarumma, who cleared. You know, we know, don't we, that Manchester City have given opponents chances in so many of their recent matches. That was the case as well against Newcastle on Wednesday night, as O'Reilly goes down under a challenge, doesn't win a free kick. It's Liverpool's ball. And at the same time, while Manchester City might feel that they've got to go for it, that could open things up for Liverpool.
It's very fluid, this formation from Pep Guardiola. We discussed it at length before the game, didn't we? It's almost like Marmoush is playing up alongside Erling Haaland, Bernardo Silva and Rodri in the middle, O'Reilly out on the left-hand side, Semenyo out on this right. It's a very fluid interchange of positions.
Yeah, and they are pressing. Liverpool now, O'Reilly actually furthest over towards the left-hand side, going forward. As Paul says, Marmoush more central, and Bernardo Silva, and then Semenyo on the right-hand side. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Sunday afternoon, 4:30 kick-off in the UK, where it is still light. The lighter nights are coming, and the ball is played back towards the edge of the penalty area to Gay. They've all cottoned on now. Mark Gay, you could easily be playing, here he is again in Liverpool red. I think it'll take more than that to unruffle Mark Gay, such a calm character. Rodri now playing the ball back to Donnarumma, who puts his foot on it, passes out square to Gay in the left back position. Gay's long pass to the halfway line. Marmoush and Konate tangle, they go down together, and the free kick is given Liverpool's way, and Konate gets to his feet and he says to everyone sitting in the Sekeni Dalglish stand on the other side of the ground, come on, make some noise.
That's 2 free kicks that have been given against Omar Marmoush that he feels hard done to. One with a tangle with Kirkes, that time with Konate, but he is playing extremely high and he's triggering the press for Manchester City.
Yes, he is. Marmoush on the same pitch as his Egyptian teammate Salah, semi-finalists in the Cup of Nations recently, as Gravenberch in on the challenge on Ait Nouri. That might have been given as a free kick. It wasn't. Wirtz does well to get there first as the challenge came in. He played the pass and skipped out of the way of the challenge as the ball is played back by Husanov to Donnarumma, who's able to get to it right-footed. Here's Gravenberch. Gravenberch gets it down but loses out to the bouncing ball, and now Rodri carrying it forward, plays it to the left. It was slightly behind Marmoush, so that's going to give Liverpool a chance to get back into position.
They had an opportunity there, Manchester City. They were 3-on-3. Haaland leading the line, running down the middle. Semenyo trying to get either side of him.
This, Paul, is a promising start.
It's great, isn't it? Brilliant, really. It's playing at a real good tempo. At the moment, neither team rotating possession and being slow in possession, being very direct.
7 minutes played. I'm going to stick my neck out and say that this is not going to be 0-0 as Marmoush wins a free kick. Konate with the challenge, and that is in the middle of the Liverpool half.
Well, there's certainly two teams that score a lot of goals, aren't they? You look at what Manchester City have scored recently, topped, bettered by Liverpool. They've scored 15 in the last 4 games in all competitions. So they're doing well in the final third, but as we said before, both slightly porous at the other end.
Yeah, Liverpool's 3rd consecutive home match, 4-1 against Newcastle last Saturday night, and then the final league phase match in the Champions League when they whacked Karabag 6-0. But Manchester City, probably a different prospect, although Manchester City just 1 win in their last 22 Premier League matches here. An extraordinarily poor record. Bernardo Silva is going to take this free kick then, standing. Here's his left foot, curling it in, and Husanov with a chance. He got up and he couldn't get it on target, headed it wide of the top right corner. That was a chance.
Well, there's a perfect example of Liverpool's defensive susceptibility from a simple set play. Bernardo Silva doesn't really have to do a lot with it. He just lifts the ball into a good area. Husanov gets in between Gravenberch and Van Dijk. It's a free header, but he just can't reach and get any purchase on it. It's a lovely delivery, but just a little bit too high.
Maybe just mistimed his leap, didn't he? So had to head it with the side of his head, and as a result, what, yard wide, maybe a bit more than that.
It was certainly a chance. Found space in the 6-yard box, which won't please Liverpool.
Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. Listen as well to the live radio via the BBC Sounds app. You'll find 5 Live on there and all of the various BBC radio stations if you're on the move, as Liverpool win a free kick after Ait-Nouri, a little foul from him. Over there on the far side, on the right back again, Szoboszlai, who will take it himself. Szoboszlai, long-haired now almost, down the back of his neck. He gets up, the Liverpool number 8, to take this free kick. Manchester City holding their line outside their penalty area by about a yard. The line of 8 players on the edge of the box in City blue. Still, Szoboszlai waits to take this free kick, right-footed, raises his left arm, and here's the delivery up to the edge of the penalty area. Salah heads it up in the air, Donnarumma comes, jumps, gets a punch away, and he's managed to find his teammate Ait-Nouri, who volleys it away downfield. Kerkez had to be sharp there because Marmoush was putting him under pressure. Ball bounced and he volleyed it away out of play for a throw into City inside their own half.
There's just been a perfect example of the reliance on set plays now and how the game's changed, because we're watching two teams who are heavily possession based, like to get the ball down and play in certain areas, put your hand on the free kick and take it quickly. Both those free kicks there that Manchester City and Liverpool had, halfway inside the half, they put the central defenders forward and delivered it into the box.
Fabulous scene here on this chill afternoon. Floodlights already on. Haaland playing the ball through. Marmoush looked offside, misses with the shot anyway, dragged it wide of the goal, and then up comes the offside flag.
Well, it was a golden opportunity for Marmoush, and he wasn't to know that the flag was going to go up on this side. A piece of centre-forward play from Erling Haaland. He's up there with a strike partner today. There's a change. Semenyo lays it off to him. Haaland with the ball just down the side, and it would have been close, but Marmoush didn't finish.
Cheers from the Manchester City fans, because long pass forward towards Ekitike, let it drop over his shoulder, it hit him and bounced out of play for a throw-in, all done at high pace. So it's a throw-in to Manchester City, halfway inside their own half. It's a strange quirk this season. Talk about Manchester City's scoring. In fact, they've not scored more than 2 goals in a Premier League match since before Christmas, as the ball ricochets in midfield, and O'Reilly, and now he goes down. A bit of a wrestling match there, and referee Pawson says free kick to Manchester City. It was Gravenberch and O'Reilly. Up they get. Free kick is taken quickly. Manchester City, who in this year 2026 have not conceded a goal in the Premier League in the first half, but they've not scored one in the second half.
It's an amazing stat, that, isn't it? Absolutely amazing for a team of this quality.
What a quirk that is. As Rodri has the ball 10 yards inside his own half, plays it back. Husanov, quickly back to Donnarumma. Then Rodri, a heavy touch. Wirtz and Ekitike were buzzing around, hoping that it was going to break for them. It didn't. Manchester City were able to keep their composure. And now here is Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri is able to take it up the left wing. He's got 2 City players in front of him, O'Reilly and Marmoush, but he goes back towards the halfway line, and here is Mark Gay. Little pass forward from him to Marmoush, and then square from Marmoush, and then Rodri hits the shot, which is deflected well wide of Alisson's goal, and the final touch was off a teammate.
It was Erling Haaland.
So goal kick.
Blocked it from Rodri. Rodri coming from deep that time, picks up the ball on the right-hand side, goes across the box. The first piece of good, slow build-up play from Manchester City. It just opens up for Rodri. And Manchester City are doing well. They're overloading, they're getting the wide players in. Liverpool's central defenders' eyes are taken, and then Rodri was able to come back.
And there's a strong piece of defending. Mateus Nunes up against Ekitike. Final touch off the Manchester City right back. So it's a throw-in that Kerkez will take. The number 6, the Hungarian international, who I think is settling, isn't he? There's a long right-footed ball from Van Dijk will bounce all the way through to Donnarumma.
I think that can be said about a few of the new signings for Liverpool. I think obviously Florian Wirtz has taken time to settle, Hugo Ekitike, Kerkez, and I think they're growing into a new team, and they will take time to establish, but they're certainly getting there.
Donnarumma, long pass from him. Haaland gets up, heads it forward. Erling Haaland, 27 goals this season. Semenyo, recent signing, is able to take it on down the right and swing over the cross, but Alisson out of the 6-yard box is able to dive forward and catch it. There was only Marmoush inside the penalty area, with Haaland having headed it on. Lovely flick from Wirtz, and then Salah's ball in field straight into the path of Husanov. And Manchester City attack again. Semenyo past Haaland and through for Alisson to to deal with.
The rapidity of this game is incredible. It can't keep up, surely. The speed of transition as well, that they're going from back to front. When one team wins the ball, the first thought is always forward.
It's Gay against Salah. Long pass for Mo Salah, but Gay does well. Comes down, gets the ball, and then under pressure from Salah is able to clear it away on his left foot as he falls. Well defended, Gay.
Yeah, good strong piece of defending. Good positional awareness as well, and he read the game well.
So City, it is come forward again. It has end-to-end at the moment about it, this match. Played through to Marmoush. Konate with the challenge. Marmoush goes down inside the penalty area and looks inquiringly towards referee Pawson. No more than that. I don't think hopes were high that was going to be given as a penalty.
It looked clumsy, you know. Once again, it's Marmoush coming in off in the wide areas. He gets goal side of Konate. Konate's got both his arms around him inside the penalty box, and he goes down. They've stopped the game. They're going to have a close look at this VAR. There's a little bit of contact, but maybe not enough, I don't think.
I think and there's a case for it.
There is.
That counts. You know, that he was gripping his bicep, wasn't he? Konate was gripping the bicep of Marmoush.
I think we're in the area of, if that was given on the field by the referee, I'm not so sure that VAR would have intervened either.
I suspect the bicep of Marmoush may appear on the commentators next week.
What type of establishment would that be?
Yeah, well, exactly. Actually, it'll be a couple of weeks' time, because next week is a question and answer special, after we've received some terrific emails recently. And, well, I'll just say there is one on the current edition, which is well worth listening to. Here's Semenyo. Haaland now playing it to the left side of the penalty area, Marmoush, but Szoboszlai did well. He's able to watch it run across him, and then as Marmoush tried to cut across the area, Szoboszlai put it behind. First corner of the match, Manchester City.
He's a threat, Marmoush. He looks lively, he looks sharp, he's timing his runs in behind, picking his spots, coming off the wide areas at times. Not really got a set position other than in a defensive shape. He's allowed to roam anywhere in that final third. Made some very intelligent runs. And
Pep Guardiola obviously wanted to play this system today, and it probably was going to be a choice of Marmoush or Shirky to start the match. The popular Shirky on the bench, but Marmoush has started well, and it's a corner. Swung into the 6-yard box. Gay was in there, didn't get a clean head on it, bounced down and was volleyed away by Liverpool towards the halfway line. But coming in at pace, Mark Gay, he was only, probably 4 yards out.
Szoboszlai does well in the end. I think it comes off the back of Szoboszlai's head, about 2 or 3 yards off the line. We make so much of set plays, but the set play is nothing without the delivery. That delivery was from Marmoush was superb. You can make all the movement in the box you want, standing whatever different lines, but unless the delivery's on point, the set play's not worth it.
Yes, it was whipped in from the left-hand side, so right-footed by Marmoush, and it dropped right in the danger zone, didn't it?
Pace, really pacey whip.
Yep. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. Already this afternoon we have brought you Brighton 0, Crystal Palace 1. So as Danny Gabidon said when I was listening to him with Alistair Bruce Ball, Palace back to their sort of performances of old, and they are up to 13th. Crystal Palace above Brighton. Long pass forward looking for Haaland, but Van Dijk got up serenely, headed it away. Gakpo then volleys that forward, but straight into Rodri. Bounces over there to the left-hand side to Ait Nouri, and now Nico O'Reilly is able just to have a close-range 1-2 with Rodri. That'll help the passing statistics. And then Ait Nouri actually struggled to get the ball under control on the left wing, but wins a free kick. Szoboszlai just a little clumsy with the challenge, and it's a free kick to City on the left.
Chasing a lost cause there, Ait Nouri. In the bottom left-hand corner, he does really well. Szoboszlai ended up having to make the challenge. He thought the ball was running out of play. It was initially a bad touch from the Manchester City fullback, but he does well to keep the ball in play.
Yes, he did, and sort of drew the foul. It's just a little too aggressive, wasn't it, the challenge from Szoboszlai?
Can I just say that I hope your prediction for goals is better than your weather predictions?
Yeah, the heavens have just opened. The blackest of black clouds has just blown in, presumably from the Irish Sea. Look at the colour of that. It's like battleship grey, that one, isn't it? And the rain is now sweeping across Anfield. So it is a free kick to City. Out on the left. Left-footed delivery to the near post is headed away. Bernardo Silva's free kick headed away by Gakpo, and actually Bernardo Silva just got there ahead of Salah and might have taken a piece of Salah as well. Referee Pawson says no free kick. Salah has to reluctantly drag himself off the Anfield pitch, claps his hands together. Salah, he feels that he was fouled there, so does most of Anfield. Now a ball forward for Semenyo, already 4 goals Semenyo for Manchester City. And remember, he scored 2 of his Bournemouth goals here this season on the first round of matches of the campaign back in August to really kick-start the season that resulted with him becoming a Manchester City player. Now it's back centrally, O'Reilly, and now as we move into the 21st minute here at Anfield, the Liverpool supporters remembering Diogo Jota, and the Jota songs will start to ring around the stadium as Manchester City attack. Ait-Nouri against Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai is tight on him again. The two of them have a little interaction there, just pushing one another away. Rodri's ball over the top. Marmoush takes that down, carries it out into the full-back position. Still going Marmoush, then back to Mark Gay. Liverpool parked in their own defensive third. Ait-Nouri with the cross that is blocked out for a throw off Szoboszlai. Level with the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. Manchester City get it going again quickly. Rodri turning, left-footed, clip. Ait-Nouri just gets his head to it, then heads it past Szoboszlai. Ait-Nouri now pulls it back. Haaland, he lays it back to Marmoush. Marmoush turning, shooting, well wide actually, via a deflection. It's a corner. And I think City are saying that might have struck an arm, was the deflection.
It's a super piece of play from Ait-Nouri again. Once again, he looks to have the beating of Szoboszlai down that right-hand side. Gets past him, gets in a dangerous area, and what he does really well, he drives into the box. He knows that the defenders can't touch him in the box. Pulls it back to Haaland with pace on it, and Haaland's very, very clever. Doesn't try to do anything other than lay it off to Marmoush.
Not sure. Did that strike? I don't think it struck an arm, did it?
No, I don't think so, just a deflection.
Corner's taken short, then in. And the header down from Mark Gay from probably 16 yards out, bounced through, an easy one for Alisson to take, and he looks to the heavens, Alisson, because he thought he might have the chance to send that long pass for Gakpo to run onto, but Manchester City were alive to it. It is the commentary match on Sports Extra 2 has just ended. The Rugby Union English Premier Cup match has finished. Sale 19, Bath 60. So on Sports Extra 2 via your BBC Sounds app, they'll just be wrapping that up. The choice of listening there I'll mention in a moment, because Ait-Nouri is trying to cut in from the left-hand side. We've seen a lot of that in the early stages against Szoboszlai. It's clearly something that Manchester City have decided they're going to try and target. Szoboszlai playing in that position, and then Ekitike is tripped in centre field, so that's a free kick to Liverpool. Yes, the choice of listening right now, after England squeaked home against Nepal earlier. Don't think I've ever said that before. Right now, the T20 World Cup commentary on Sri Lanka against Ireland on Sports Extra, and on Sports Extra 3, which is on the Sounds app, the Rugby League Challenge Cup match between Rochdale and Wigan, which is over, and Wigan trounced Rochdale by 83 points to 0. Liverpool with the ball on the edge of the penalty area, played back towards the edge of the box. I have to say, when I heard that England-Nepal game coming to its climax, I did flick across to see what happened there, and they just about made it.
Well, we were sat in the press lounge watching it before the game when we got here. A bit of a mountain to climb, that one, John.
That's terrible. Liverpool give it away. Szoboszlai, Manchester City into the box. Bernardo Silva twisting and turning, plays it across the 6-yard box. Haaland couldn't get there, but does pick up possession of the ball. Then back to Semenyo. Semenyo's shot, that comes off, I think, the shins of Kirkes, who sort of dipped his legs in front of Semenyo, and the ball skidded away for another corner to City, who are on top.
They look really good when they play in the wide areas. They play quickly and get the ball out to Marmoush and Ait-Nouri down the left-hand side, and they're at the best when they're playing wide, because the Liverpool defence likes to defend within the width of the 18-yard box. They're very narrow, and they have to expand when Manchester City get the ball wide, which then leaves the gaps for Marmoush.
Bernardo Silva comes across to take it. He was a little bit of a doubt for this match, but past fit, obviously. The captain raises both his arms. This is in front of the cup. Left-footed, Bernardo Silva into the near post, but Ekitike is able to jump up high, and with that bleach blonde hair, head it away, back to Bernardo Silva. Left-footed ball in, but that's beyond everyone and the far post on the full for a goal kick to Liverpool, and it remains 0-0.
They are starting to get on top, Manchester City. Look at the press that they've got now. They're surrounding the 18-yard box. They look up for it, Manchester City. They look at it. This new shape, it seems to suit them.
Ireland chasing 164 to win that match. They're 114 for 4 in the 16th over. So Ireland need 50 of 28 balls to beat Sri Lanka. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. That rain is increasing in intensity. I'm not surprised given the colour of those clouds. Here is McAllister. Alexis McAllister drives the ball to the edge of the area to Salah, who has the chance, that is deflected wide. He shot there. Mark Gay was with him. Donnarumma was scrambling to his left. But I think he knew it was going wide. He was actually trying to prevent the corner.
What a pass. There's only Alexis McAllister inside the whole stadium that saw that pass was on. Mo Salah had found himself in between Nate Nouri, Mark Gay, got a load of space, and he fires the ball into Mo Salah. First touch with his right foot, just gets it out of his feet. But what a pass that was.
Liverpool's first attempt on goal, deflected wide by Gay. So it's a corner to the home side, a corner to the champions that is going to be delivered from away over there in that corner between the Anfield Road end and the Kenny Dalglish stand. It's a deep one to the back post. Van Dijk gets up, but he was challenged by Semenyo actually. It bounces away into the full-back position. Van Dijk was able to chase after it. Still, Liverpool go back to the halfway line, but then forward again. And now Szoboszlai passes the ball behind Van Dijk, who is saying it took a deflection. But the officials disagree. Van Dijk, body language, palms apart, palms on forehead, suggesting that he can't believe it's been given as a Manchester City throw.
Just starting to hear a couple of groans as well when the Liverpool passes go astray. The crowd not really comfortable with what they're seeing from their team, struggling to get any real foothold in the game or any consistent possession.
But Liverpool have got a cheapish corner really. After Manchester City took the throw, Mateus Nunes trying to clear it away. I think it hit Gakpo, bounced back onto the Manchester City man and out for a corner.
They've taken a lot of chances at the back already this evening, Manchester City. Balls in between Rodri and the goalkeeper, trying to play intricate passes instead of clearing the lines.
Szoboszlai to take the corner from the left in front of the Manchester City fans. City currently 65.9% possession in the match. And it's felt that way as well. However, Liverpool with the set-piece chance from the corner. Szoboszlai into the 6-yard box. Donnarumma comes, gets a contact on that, a punch away back out towards the Liverpool left to the corner taker. Szoboszlai swings another one in. Donnarumma comes, gets a hand to it. Salah lifts it back across goal but lands on the roof of the net. Liverpool fans around us slapping their hands on their tops of their knees because Salah wasn't able to. I mean, it would have been some goal if he'd been able to volley that in from there.
It's a goal kick, didn't he, Donnarumma? He got that really wrong, come a long way out of his 6-yard box on the angle. His defence had helped him out. They'd cleared up from the corner, they'd cleared out of the box. There was space there for the big Italian goalkeeper to come out. He just misjudges the trajectory of the ball, gets stuck underneath it, palms it up in the air with his left hand. Mo Salah just can't turn it back into what would have been an empty net, or at least awaiting colleagues to put it into an empty net.
Salah might have been pulled back. Referee says no. Went to ground, onto his knees, then Szoboszlai is tripped by O'Reilly. That is a free kick. Liverpool take it quickly. Referee Pawson allows them to do that. But actually they go back into their own half. That cloud that's moving across the top of Anfield looks like something out of a science fiction film, doesn't it? It's a brooding presence.
Well, from our position here, isn't it, you can see over the top of 3 stands. We're that high up in the main stand, you can see for a long way. And it's certainly taken up a lot of the view.
It certainly is. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. Almost half an hour played. So no goals yet. Lots of good play, but actually not too much in terms of clear goal-scoring opportunities.
It's been a good watch, it really has. It's been a really good watch. 2 teams that have taken it forward. They've gone both trying to win the game. And actually Manchester City really playing on the front foot. And I think Arne Slot's been surprised with the formation that Pep Guardiola's turned up with today. Ait
Nouri under pressure on the halfway line. Whipped the ball forward as he came under pressure from the challenge from McAllister. He stayed down, but now he's back on his feet and getting back into a position as Liverpool come forward. The Liverpool fans have spotted that Ait Nouri went down looking as though he was injured, but now when he saw his team were in trouble, he was back on his feet sprinting back. Bernardo Silva is dispossessed by Kirkes, who will pass it to the left foot of Alisson. Clears, the ball spinning in the air, way down below us. Mark Gay back with it for Manchester City after his £20 million move in the end. Liverpool were going to pay significantly more than that, weren't they, for him? Semenyo playing it forward, Konate diving back in, got a touch on it, which deflected it back to Alisson.
Really interesting to watch these tactics from Manchester City to try and open this Liverpool back four and then have the runners going in between the central defenders. They've not quite worked it out yet, Liverpool.
0-0 with exactly 30 minutes on the clock, as it says on the rectangular electronic scoreboard that is just to our right, one side high on the side of the Kop, the famous Kop. Liverpool are defending in the first half. Ball chipped out to Wirtz. Wirtz has passed from deep inside his own half, forward to Ekitike. Ekitike up against Gaze, into the area now. Gaze holding him up. Ekitike shoots into the legs of Gay, and it bounces away off the Manchester City man via Ekitike for what is given as a goal kick.
No, it's a super piece of defending from Mark Gay, it really is. That's him at his best. He's squared up in the 18-yard box to Ekitike. He's matched in pace for pace to start with. Got back into the 18-yard box and said, go on then, beat me. Stood his ground, muscled him out of it and ended up winning a goal kick. Really good defending.
Yeah, and that's not the first time in this match from Mark Gay. He's had a very good first half hour when called into action. But Liverpool come again looking to call him into action once more. Gakpo, McAllister just to the forward of the centre circle. Wirtz away to his left. Pass goes forward from McAllister. Then Kirkes. Gakpo waiting for the ball to come down. It wouldn't come down quickly enough, and then Matheus Nunes was being grabbed at by Gakpo, and the free kick is given to the Manchester City man. Bernardo Silva is complaining about something as the City captain to the referee.
Yeah, the ball came back off Kirkes' hand when Kusanov went to clear it from close range. Fired it off, right off his left hand, Kirkes.
So Donnarumma takes this free kick. Ait Nouri heads it forward. Liverpool have got it back. Gravenberch on the right. Here's a pass to Salah. Salah, lovely play. Back to Wirtz. Wirtz in the area. Attempted to cut back, but as he did so, it just ran away from him. And Rodri, who'd gone with Wirtz, was able to stick a leg in and steer it back to Donnarumma, who cleared. Well, now Liverpool are having their best spell of the match. They're on top just now.
It's almost in waves, isn't it? Manchester City had a spell almost camped in the Liverpool half. Role reversed now. Manchester City have dropped off, allowed Liverpool possession and said, go and try and break us down.
Groans because the ball runs away from Van Dijk after it was passed out to him by Alisson, and it's out for a throw into Manchester City. And a throw in way down below us for Matheus Nunes. Part of the reason why Arsenal have been able to open up this lead is that Manchester City's recent Premier League form. Rodri crossing from the right. Haaland hits the shot. Excellent volley, sat up for him nicely, and he caught it cleanly, but straight at Alisson, who was moving along his goal line, and he was able to deal with it.
It's a very good strike from Haaland. He's hooked his leg round it at the far post. It's a lovely ball across from Rodri. Goes all the way across the Liverpool 6-yard line.
Now Wirtz with a pass, but that won't be caught by Salah. Donnarumma is able to step forward, big stride of those long legs and the long arms, bending down to scoop up the ball. But Haaland currently on a run of 2 goals in his last 12 appearances. And one of those was a penalty against Brighton in the 1-1 draw. And then the goal from open play against Galatasaray. Not often we talk about Haaland in those sort of figures, but there, that was promising from him. Long pass forward for Marmoush, who was sort of twisting, and it bounced away from him through for a goal kick.
I think what Haaland's done really well today, he's played the role of a number 9 as the main striker. He's been at the figurehead and he's occupied Konate and Van Dijk, which has allowed the likes of Marmoush to run around.
Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. The television cameras have just picked out the England manager, Thomas Tuchel, who is sitting down below us in the director's box, I presume. Kirkes just running off the field. Pep Guardiola comes and just has a little word. Not sure why that was, with the Liverpool left back. So both of these teams not in the best form in the Premier League. Despite the win against Newcastle here, both of them have won precisely one of their last 6 Premier League matches. And in City's case, that has helped Arsenal build the lead that they've got. 0-0. Gay jumps for the ball on the halfway line against Ekitike. Now O'Reilly, and then Gravenberch comes in, and down he goes, and that's a free kick. And Nico O'Reilly's little fouls are totting up, and I think the referee might be just making that point. Free kick to Liverpool.
I think at the start of the game the referee tried to let it flow, and he didn't give many free kicks, much to the disgruntlement of both teams and managers, but now he's started giving them and he's set the bar. He's having to give more. Yes,
I enjoyed last weekend the Chelsea-West Ham match last weekend. Anthony Taylor really let that match flow, which I think is an object lesson if you can do that as a referee.
Absolutely, the best referees are the ones you don't see.
Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. City have taken the free kick from the wrong place, which of course always enrages supporters, and so now Rodri does take it across to Gay, up to Marmoush, with Konate ever so tight, too tight, says the referee. It's a free kick to Manchester City.
He's given everything now. I mean, that was Marmoush just trying to hold the ball. That looked like a good strong challenge from Konate. Arne Slot, the Liverpool manager, is berating the 4th official down beneath us. Looked like a good strong challenger coming together. He's certainly let those go before in the game.
He has actually let one of them go inside the penalty area.
Exactly.
But they're probably just maybe a little bit too physical, so the free kick was given. Still goalless at Anfield. Ekitike puts Donnarumma under pressure, but he was able to pass the ball behind him to his left to Gay, who had Salah with him, but they were able to get it away, and Salah now coming back from an offside position. More Liverpool groans inside Anfield. Free kick to Manchester City. Less than 10 minutes of the first half to go.
Really doesn't fill me with confidence, Donnarumma, with the ball at his feet. I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, I really do. I admire his goalkeeping ability, and I can't believe he's still only 26 years of age. Made his Italian debut at 17, his AC Milan debut at 16, and the San Siro against Sassuolo. He's one of the world's best keepers and has been for a long time, but the way that Manchester City use him, like I say, doesn't fill me with confidence, especially been on his penalty spot, playing it backwards.
As Mateus Nunez, a little trip on him by Ekitike on the right wing. Free kick to Manchester City. Yes, he's got a rugged appearance, hasn't he? Big Donnarumma, who is just prowling around, all in yellow.
Makes some important saves, John, doesn't he, over the years? He's made saves that have won huge games.
Well, some of those saves last season on the way to winning the Champions League for PSG. Here's Bernardo Silva, not least against Liverpool. And if you remember, Alisson had his great game, didn't he? Greatest of his career, he said, in that tie in Paris. Here is O'Reilly. O'Reilly to Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri with Salah back there with him. Rodri is there as well. Here's Mark Gay, back to Rodri. Passes it infield to Marmoush. Marmoush 30 yards out, but actually goes further back to Mateus Nunez. Manchester City back now, dominating possession inside the Liverpool half, as they did in the opening minutes of the match. And then forward it goes. Bernardo Silva has found some space. Now plays it up to the edge of the area. He gets it back. Bernardo Silva trying to find a position, but Konate in with a challenge. And then Van Dijk also. Liverpool could break away here. Gakpo, but couldn't get to the bouncing ball ahead of Mateus Nunez. Now Semenyo through the middle. And that's excellent balance from Marmoush, who tried to play a reverse pass forward for either Haaland or Semenyo, but Liverpool dealt with it on the edge of their own box. And now on the halfway line, Ekitike well challenged by Mateus Nunez. But then the ball wouldn't break for Liverpool, and it is Manchester City who will attack again, this time on the right wing. That's where Bernardo Silva is. Bernardo Silva with the outside of his boot, forward to Mateus Nunez. Marmoush makes a run to the near post. Haaland's at the back post. The ball's still in the full-back position. Bernardo Silva just a little flick, and then a scoop from Mateus Nunez, and then Bernardo Silva misses his kick, but it comes off Van Dijk behind him and loops away behind for a City corner.
Allowed far too much time and space down here on this near touchline. Almost passing it at will. Bernardo Silva chips it over to his teammate into the box, wins another corner. They look good, Manchester City, again in these wide areas. They really do when they stretch Liverpool.
So stand by for another Manchester City corner. This is their fourth. Bernardo Silva, head down, full of concentration, looking at the ball, places it in the quadrant. Haaland just moving into position next to Alisson. Nico O'Reilly steps in there as well, left-footed to the near post. Haaland with a flick across goal. Konate gets up and he's able to head it away out towards the far side, the City left. Marmoush then back towards the halfway line, where Mateus Nunes will pick out a low pass to Bernardo Silva, whose touch was heavy. Kirkes was onto him, but excellent play from Bernardo Silva, who held him off, then was able to turn, take the ball away. Gakpo, however, is helping Kirkes out, and so Manchester City are able to keep possession, but not dangerously for Liverpool. Bernardo Silva, here's Rodri again. Bernardo Silva right on the white line, flicked from Semenyo. Rodri might have a go. Left foot shot hits the heels of Van Dijk, bounces back out of the box. Now to Haaland. Haaland in the D. Konate is able to pounce on the ball as it ran away from the big Norwegian and clear, but Marmoush will have a go, and it dips over the top of the crossbar from best part of 25 yards.
They can't get out their own defensive third at the moment, Liverpool. Manchester City is swarming all over them, setting a really good press, rotating possession, quick movement of the ball. Immediately there, Gravenberch tries to run out, try and get out into some space, loses possession. It's a shot from distance from Marmoush. Was never going to trouble Alisson from that distance. It's been an impressive performance from Manchester City in this first half.
Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. As I say, Thomas Tuchel in the stands here at Anfield. As Liverpool break, Gravenberch now goes between two City players, and then contact was enough for them, for Gravenberch to go down, and the yellow card is shown. It's Ait Nouri and Marmoush who are together, but I think it's Marmoush who made the meaningful contact on Gravenberch, which made him go down. Just leaned in with his shoulder. Is that worth a yellow card?
No, I think that was one of your accumulations. I think it was maybe the warning that O'Reilly had earlier. He committed one or two fouls earlier in the game. Omar Marmoush higher up the field, but that one he did stop potential counter-attack for Liverpool.
Yeah, there were men back, but he was breaking forward. So yellow card then for Omar Marmoush. 0-0. Szoboszlai with the free kick, curling it into the edge of the area. Van Dijk heads it across the box. Liverpool player goes down. Salah. Defenders were there. The ball bounces away behind for what's given as a goal kick. The referee stepping into the middle of all that. Players appealing to him. Van Dijk and Salah together. Wirtz as well. I think the referee's just going to buy himself a little bit of time here to see what is said from John Brooks, who is the video assistant referee.
He wants a penalty, Mo Salah. He gets goal side of Bernardo Silva, who in turn just puts his arm round him and gives him a slight pull backwards. It's a lovely ball into the box. It's a header across the defending line from Van Dijk. Looked like Mo Salah was going to get in at the far post. He'd got goal side of Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva just gets back goal side, puts his right arm on his shoulder and just rotates Mo Salah to the ground.
Well, my feeling would be that there wasn't enough contact from Bernardo Silva on Salah, maybe just a hand on his shoulder, and it looks as though VAR have had a look and have said no penalty. And
I think that was probably very similar to the one that Manchester City wanted earlier. If it was given on the field, VAR wouldn't have intervened. I think if the referee would have given that, there was an argument for it, there was a case for it. It was a tight line to run for Bernardo Silva.
It was, but I think both of them, I mean, in all honesty, I thought Manchester City probably had more of a case for a penalty earlier on. But on both occasions, I think it's that high bar, isn't it, that we keep talking about. And it's not been lowered by either of those incidents, one at each end. Liverpool have just put the ball out of play because Van Dijk has sat down in the centre circle, but I think he's going to be okay, back up on his feet. Virgil van Dijk, who went in with a challenge on Haaland and came out worse.
Yeah, it was Haaland's left boot, I think, as he tried to jump over Van Dijk. Just caught the big defender on the top of his hip.
Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0, and we are in the 45th minute. Despite the promise, still waiting for the opening goal as Alisson's pass forward takes a touch straight out of play for a throw into Manchester City in front of Pep Guardiola. So much speculation this week and over the course of the last couple of weeks about whether this might be his last season. Here's Haaland playing it infield. Wirtz back to Konate. As he falls, Konate sends the ball forward down the left to Ekitike. Ekitike, Liverpool's 15-goal top scorer, runs across the corner of the Manchester City penalty area and then passes it back to Kirkes, who will pass it forward to Ekitike, but Husinov is going to allow that to run, which it does. It runs away over the dead ball line. And here is the fourth official who steps forward, Tim Robinson, and shows us that there are 2 minutes to be added on at the end of this first half. Strangely, it said 0-2 on the board. But we've got the message.
Yeah, that was a good position once again that Liverpool were in. Ekitike, ball over the top. He got to the corner of the Manchester City box, and then so often this season we've seen it from Liverpool. He turns out and looks into midfield to rotate possession rather than continue the attack.
Very shortly on 5 Live, doubtless on the World Service as well. We'll have reaction coming from the earlier Premier League match. Brighton 0, Crystal Palace 1. We've already heard from Jørgen Strand Larsen, Crystal Palace's new signing, who was live with Rob Nothman from Brighton. Here's Semenyo in added time at the end of the first half, but his pass square was a little short. Gravenberch and Liverpool are back in possession. Also earlier, big win for Swansea against bottom of the table Sheffield Wednesday, 4-0. Even bigger win for Rangers in the Scottish Cup, who won 8-0 against Queen's Park. Tavernier scored a hat-trick in that match. And Harry Kane has just scored his second penalty of the day, and Bayern Munich lead Hoffenheim by 2-1. 0-0, Manchester City in possession. So that makes it now for Harry Kane this season with 2 goals today. Kane's got 40 goals in 34 appearances for club and country. Semenyo through the middle. Kirkes hits it into him, but it bounces back from the Manchester City man through to Alisson. Liverpool man down. Szoboszlai is over there on the far side of the field as Liverpool bring it forward. Kirkes' pass is actually cut out by Manchester City. Here's Rodri. Szoboszlai just getting back to his feet. He's struggling, he's hobbling, he's trying to get back into position. So actually Salah at the moment with Szoboszlai is standing in his right back, but this Manchester City attack isn't able to take him on. Half-time whistle goes, 0-0, and Szoboszlai, well, we'll just have to see if he's able to shake off this knock.
Really entertaining first half. It was a really good 0-0 in all honesty. I think Pep Guardiola will be absolutely delighted the way that this new formation's worked for him, especially having the extra bodies in the final third and the way that they've pressed. Haaland's played as an old-fashioned centre-forward, occupying the defenders, and they've created space for themselves and got in between the lines and down the sides of those Liverpool defenders. They've not really managed to get much of a foothold in this game, Liverpool. They've had 1 or 2 occasions with balls over the top where Ekitike's looked dangerous but chose to rotate possession. Yeah, a couple of penalty shouts at either end, but I think the officials got them right. Well, if you're not going to give one, you don't give the second, I don't think. Yeah. So there we are, Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0 at half-time. Just to finish that off about Haaland, as I was going to say there, Harry Kane. So that's Kane now 40 goals in 34 appearances this season, club and country. Haaland has 40 in 40. So that's what we're measuring Harry Kane against. But here at Anfield, no goals. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0.
John Paul, thank you very much. We'll be back obviously for second half commentary. We have got a lot to get through. So Oliver Glasner, Fabian Ertzler, both on the way. After Brighton 0, Crystal Palace 1 in the Premier League, we'll hear from Sonia Bonpastor, whose Chelsea team were in action this afternoon, victorious 2-0 in their game at Tottenham in the WSL. We've got more reaction to come from the cricket. We'll be back to the Winter Olympics, and we'll be live to the Super Bowl, all after the news with Richard Foster.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Sir Keir Starmer's Chief of Staff Morgan McSweeney has resigned. He was under pressure over his role in the Peter Mandelson scandal. Our political correspondent Billy Kember has more.
We've got his resignation statement here. He says that the decision to appoint Peter Mandelson was wrong, that he's damaged the Labour Party, our country and trust in politics itself. He said that when asked, I advised the Prime Minister to make that appointment and I take full responsibility for that advice. He said in public life, responsibility must be owned when it matters most, not just when it's most convenient. And he's decided that in the circumstances, the only honourable course is to step aside. He concludes in this statement, rather lengthy statement too, with two further reflections. One, that it was important to remember the women and girls whose lives were ruined by Jeffrey Epstein and whose voices went unheard for far too long. The second is that the due diligence and vetting process, which he says he didn't oversee, did need to be fundamentally overhauled. It was flawed, and that cannot simply be a gesture, but a safeguard for the future. He says he remains fully supportive of the Prime Minister.
Our political correspondent Billy Kemper just there. Well, Sir Keir Starmer's thanked Morgan McSweeney, saying it's been an honour to work with him and that he's seen his commitment to both the Labour Party and the country every day. The Labour peer, Baroness Hazarika, says the Prime Minister must now get a grip on Downing Street.
Morgan McSweeney going may satisfy some backbench MPs who did feel that Morgan McSweeney and Peter Mandelson were too close, and Morgan McSweeney has said that he takes responsibility for advising Keir Starmer on the appointment. But I think what this Peter Mandelson story has done, it's exposed a sort of culture within the Labour Party and how Downing Street operates, and that's what's got to change.
Reactions been coming in from other parties. The Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch says it's about time for Morgan McSweeney to resign, but she says the Prime Minister needs to take responsibility for what she calls his own terrible decisions. The Lib Dems say the Prime Minister can change his advisers all he likes, but the buck stops with him. And Reform UK says the resignation is confirmation of what it calls the chaos at the heart of government. You can get more on that story over on the BBC News channel and the BBC News website. Other stories, and Russia's security services extradited a man accused of trying to assassinate a senior general from the United Arab Emirates. They've named him as Lyubomir Korba, a Russian citizen said to have been born in Ukraine. And dozens of flood warnings are still in place following weeks of rain. There are currently 96 in England, 7 in Scotland, along with 4 less serious flood alerts in Wales. The rainfall set to continue into next week. The Met Office has issued a yellow warning for rain in southwest England and parts of South Wales between midday and midnight tomorrow.
Blades slicing through ice at an electrifying pace. Skis flying further than ever before. Curling stones sliding with breathtaking precision. Making history, breaking records, and taking home gold. Trails will blaze. The Winter Olympics. Watch on iPlayer. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. Second half commentary on the way from Anfield. Already today, Ismail Ascour scored the only goal as Crystal Palace won 1-0 at rivals Brighton. It's been a tough few weeks for Palace. Here's their manager, Oliver Glasner.
This is what we were missing the last, 2 months. This feeling of a win. Yeah, this is just you can't buy, you can't talk, you can't analyze, you can't train, you can do whatever you want, but this feeling of a win is you can't replace, and that's why it feels so good. And I think it's not just for us, it's for our fans. It's the same. Going home now, the M23 or A23.
Both.
Both. Yeah, because I read A on at the sign. So going now back, the M23 with a win, big smile. Winning the derby. This is, and then tomorrow they all have to go to their job, to the work, Monday morning, hopefully with 2-3 Guinness, it's great. And that's what we couldn't deliver the last months, but today we could, and that's why it feels so great.
So Palace move above Brighton, who've now won just once in their last 12 league matches. Here's their manager, Fabian Ertzler.
I think till the first goal we were in the game. We had not a lot of chances, but we had chances. And then I wasn't happy how we reacted after we conceded the goal. We looked fragile. That was not how we wanted to react on setbacks. So therefore we have to analyze it. Regarding the reactions, I think it's part of football. I'm responsible for that. I think everyone is allowed to share his emotions. In the end, I'm responsible for that. So I know this, but I'm fully committed, and I'm there to not complain about these things. I'm there to find solutions, and that's what I try to do together with my team.
Is it a bit of a worry when it's the mind first that you need to try to fix among the players when they lose a bit of confidence? It's not an easy thing just to be able to wave a magic wand and get that back.
I think I'm not worried because mind is always part of a football game on a football player. So we always see players as players, but in the end, behind every player is like a person.
Fabian Ertzler there speaking to Rob Nothman. Brighton 14th in the Premier League. For what it's worth, they are 8 points now above third bottom West Ham United. Lines are open for 606, so get your call in, get it booked. 08085 909 693. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. Afternoon, Rob.
Afternoon, Stephen. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Come on, let's have it then.
No, but firstly, talking about the relegation battle, is it now one from Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Leeds and Spurs? Leeds are on the same amount of points as Spurs. So is it 1 from 4? Because I think we all agree Wolves and Burnley are going to go.
Yep.
Is it 1 from 4? Brighton, you just said it. Is it no wins in 6 now? What's happened to Brighton? Not long ago we talked about Europe. This game, 0-0. I heard you, the brilliant show you've hosted so well all afternoon.
Thanks,
but
mate.
I've got to pick you up on something you said on the way in. That you felt a bit sorry for Liverpool in terms of the recruitment. But in the window, they spent 446 million. It was the most ever spent in one window. But you got a bit of sympathy with Liverpool in that sense.
What I said was, I feel for them because they...
Feel for them?
Hold on.
446 million.
Now I know what it's like to call into your show. I feel for them because over the last couple of years, they've come so close to signing players that would have been transformational 10-year signings, and they've been unlucky. So they were unlucky not to get Caicedo, they were unlucky not to get Zubimendi, they were unlucky not to get Gay. Clearly they have spent a bucket load
The most
of cash.
ever in one window.
Yeah. I'm not saying
But you feel we've got sympathy for them.
I feel like they were unlucky with some signings.
Unlucky. So let's put it out there. Do you think Liverpool are unlucky in the transfer window having spent 446 million, the most ever? Listen, it was a great show. I love listening to it. I engaged. You're engaging me. That's a conversation for 606. So I know what you were doing.
Yeah.
You were preempting what the calls were going to be in 606.
I'm just trying to help you out.
Thank you.
I'm always trying to help you out.
So it's going to be a good show. Chris is on, obviously, and me. 08285 909 693. Who's going to win the game? City? Got to win it. They've got to win the game. Or the title race is over, like Chris said 8 weeks ago.
08085 909 693. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Stephen.
Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Once we are done at Anfield, the Winter Olympics continues. More curling this evening, but it's not all high octane, Maz. You've also got the snowboard big air, which could never live up to that drama.
Of course, it's not nearly as high octane as the curling, is it? No, we're going to get a really good look at one of our big medal hopes in the park and pipe disciplines, Mia Brooks. We've mentioned Kirsty Muir yesterday, who's an ex-Games champion from earlier this year. So is Mia. Hers came in the slopestyle in snowboarding. In this event today, Big Air, she won a bronze medalist last month. So we're very excited to see what statement she might put out in qualifying. That gets underway in just over an hour's time. Maisie Hill, who suffered life-threatening injuries, including a bleed on the brain after a crash in training 3 years ago. She's our other British representative going in the event as well. How Big Air qualifying works, by the way, the snowboarders take one massive jump. They're scored on the tricks they perform whilst airborne during that one jump. They have 3 runs. The scores from their best 2 count, and those are combined from their overall score. And then the top 12 qualify for tomorrow night's final. And you mentioned the curling, so let's mention that again. Elsewhere in the next 40 minutes or so, GB's mixed curling pair of Jen Dodds and Bruce Mowat. They'll aim to head into tomorrow's semi-finals with a bit more of a buzz. Get over that defeat earlier to Switzerland. Their final round-robin match is against the defending Olympic champions Italy.
Thank you very much, Maz. Now, tonight, 5 Live, 11 p.m, Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. Seattle Seahawks against New England Patriots just outside San Francisco. That's where we find Joel Hammer. Afternoon, Joel.
Good afternoon. Actually, I'm slap bang in the middle of San Francisco, which is about a 45-minute coach journey down to Santa Clara where the stadium is. But I'll be making my way there very shortly, you'll be pleased to hear.
Both of these teams have made their way there against the odds this season, haven't they?
Absolutely. I remember these are 2 teams that never even made the playoffs last season, so it's a big jump to go from not making the postseason to making the big game. And that's partly added to a marginal sense of anticlimax here, because I think really people were really hoping for the big teams, the big names, everyone, the global figures to be in this game. And we're stuck with, if you're Sam Darnold or Drake May, you're probably delighted to be here. But there is something ever so slightly lacking, I think, because the Patriots, a lot of people love the Patriots because of Tom Brady. Well, he's not here anymore, so love him or hate him, people were interested in the Patriots. And so it'll be interesting to see who comes out. We're hoping for a classic, but it might be a defensive-minded game.
And if anyone was looking for a really interesting alternative look at the Super Bowl this year, Joel, where might they go?
Oh, I have no idea, Steve. You tell. No, that's right. Not by the playbook on the BBC World Service. Everything behind the scenes from the people who make the winners' rings. Remember, they don't get medals, they get rings. To the stadium announcer and inspirational stories. Thank you for the plug, Steve.
Always. Thanks, Joel. That's Joel Hammer, who's out there in San Francisco. And as I say, 5 Live, 11 p.m. tonight. Stefan Powell presenting the coverage. He is great. The coverage is going to be great. Elsewhere, T20 World Cup. England's men avoided a massive upset against Nepal. They won by 4 runs in Mumbai. 45 off England's last 3 overs. Will Jacks was player of the match. Here he is.
Full credit to Nepal, they were absolutely brilliant. We saw the pitch was tricky when we batted, but they played against the spin very well and they really took us close there. They played it brilliantly.
Which did you find harder to face out there, spin or seam?
I think you know the answer to that one. It was very tough to start.
Do you think they could have gone just the spinner of the last over? Were you pleasantly surprised when they went KC?
Yeah, I saw they were debating. I think the helmet ran out and then went off, so obviously in hindsight they might have done that, but all in all, they were tactically very good. They've obviously pushed us right to the edge there.
In the WSL, Chelsea bounced back from 2 straight defeats today. They beat Tottenham 2-0. Manchester City suffered only their 2nd defeat of the season, 2-0 away to Arsenal. So the gap is back to 9 points. Here's Chelsea boss Sonia Bonpastor.
I think we can speak about being relieved because, the emotions the last few days have been high, and I think all the noise around our team. I know there are some really high expectations, and we are also really high expectations on us. But just to be able to come on the pitch today, to have the opportunity to bounce back and to did it the way we did today, I think shows a lot about who we are as a team also.
And have you managed to speak to Madonna?
Was she at the game?
She was at the game?
Okay, yeah, I didn't know she was here, but no, I haven't seen her. But if she wants to come in the locker room and have a song with us, I'll be happy to do that, to celebrate.
Sonia Bonpastor with Betty Glover, almost ready to get back underway at Anfield for second half commentary. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. Jules, given Liverpool really need the win for Champions League challenge, City obviously really need the win because they want to try and close the gap to Arsenal. Who is there more onus on in this second half to go and grab it? Who needs it more, I guess, is the question.
It's a great question. I still think Liverpool being at home and this first half was not the best. They had a slow start, again. It's not the first time. Then it got a bit better and then they were put under pressure again. No shots on target. That's not acceptable, really. As you know, I've got a bit of an issue with Mo Salah still being in this team. It was a poor first half for him again. And I think they need to find something somewhere else. Ekitike, Wirtz. I'm not too trustful in Gakpo either. For City, it's a bit more straightforward because they've had really good moments so far that they haven't been able to grasp, but not too far.
08085 909 693. Get your calls in for 606. We're ready for second half commentary. John.
Liverpool about to kick off, same teams, no subs. So Liverpool, Alisson, Szoboszlai, Konate, Van Dijk and Kirkes, Gravenberch, McAllister, Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo and Ekitike. And Manchester City with Donnarumma, Mateus Nunes, Husanov, Gay and Ait-Nouri, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Nico O'Reilly, Semenyo, Marmoush and Haaland. And there is the whistle. Second half begins. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. Relatively few goal-scoring chances in the first half. But, as discussed at half-time, Paul Robinson, there is that feel that they've both got to go for it at some stage.
And it's been played at a real pace. The action might not be in each goal mouth, but actually through the middle of the park and the transition from defence to attack. Both teams are trying to get the ball forward.
Suspect we might see Shirky at some point in the second half. Donnarumma with the ball on the edge of his area, hits it away downfield. Phil Foden as well. I'm sure Thomas Tuchel, watching inside the stadium, would like to see him. Ekitike forward towards Gakpo. Gakpo in the area, working it across. Salah with a shot, mishit it. Took a double deflection across the box, hit 2 City players and bounced away to comparative safety. That was a chance. Salah mishit. Good play from Gakpo, who now is dispossessed by Semenyo, who will take it away up the right as City play from right to left. Long ball for Alisson's come out of the goal. Marmoush, it very nearly bounced for him. There were defenders there, both Konate and Szoboszlai, but dicing with danger, Alisson.
That's a lovely ball over the top from Semenyo, I think it is. for the on-rushing Marmoush. He looked to have got the wrong side of Konate. Alisson came a long way out of his goal, but when you go that far as a goalkeeper, you have to stick with your decision and go through with it. And he got the slightest of touches, did Alisson.
As Haaland goes down under the challenge from Van Dijk. Yellow card for the Liverpool captain. And that has not gone down well in the stands here. And not with Van Dijk either, who turned away and bent himself double in frustration that he was booked for that.
Yeah, just looking how they've had a good battle, him and Haaland. I think Van Dijk feels that he was taken down by Haaland. It was like a tangling of legs. Haaland's right leg in between the two legs of Van Dijk takes him to the ground. That could have gone either way, in all honesty.
It could. But I can see why. That left foot into the standing leg of Haaland. So not only a free kick, which is probably 7 or 8 yards ahead of the centre circle, but about the chance at the other end that Liverpool had, the miss hit by Salah.
It was a really good start, really quick start from Liverpool. Ekitike running the ball towards the box, and he found Gakpo on the left. What he did really well was just look like he was going to open up and shoot at the goal with Donnarumma, but actually he played a ball square to Mo Salah. Didn't make any type of connection on the ball.
So free kick from just forward of the centre circle for Bernardo Silva, who's waiting, and then with his left foot curls it into the box, headed away by Gakpo, still just outside the penalty area. Marmoush played it across, but into the open space there, and it fell to Liverpool and Kirkes to whack it downfield with his left foot, headed away by Bernardo Silva. Liverpool take possession again in the centre circle, but very good challenge from O'Reilly to step in, take it away from Gravenberch, and Liverpool in the end inside their own half have to go all the way back to Alisson. So this is 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. The highlights will be on Match of the Day tonight. Mark Chapman hosting. Watch them anytime on the iPlayer. And as well, these days, from 8 o'clock of a weekend night, you can see the clips and the goals on all of the various BBC platforms, the iPlayer, BBC Sport website and app, so watch out for that. As Liverpool have a throw halfway inside their own half. Szoboszlai gets it back, plays it across field, and it runs for Kirkes, who's able to let the ball roll, but he didn't have too many options there, was put under pressure by Semenyo and has ended up just passing it into space, and Manchester City have got the ball back. That rain seems to have moved away from this part of Merseyside. It's dry again under the floodlights. Mark Gay in possession, and he's given it away. He's passed it around the side of O'Reilly, and now Gravenberch is claiming that he was pulled back. Referee does eventually give the free kick. He took a while to actually bring it back, but he did in the end. Free kick to Liverpool in front of the Liverpool dugout.
I think he's guessed there, the referee. I think he's missed it, because just as the incident happened, Florian Wirtz ran right across the referee's vision. I was looking at him. He didn't give the free kick for a long, long time until he saw the reaction of the Liverpool dugout.
Maybe he had the help from his assistant, of course, on this side of the field. And you do have to bear that in mind always. The referee, if he's been blocked, can't see it, then that is just the way it goes. Can't see everything. Szoboszlai takes a throw back towards the edge of his own penalty area, and it remains 0-0 5 minutes into the second half here. So the lines are open. We heard from Robbie Savage on 5 Live at half time, so Robbie and Chris will be taking your calls on 08 085 909 693. We'll bring you the live interviews as well from here at Anfield about whatever unfolds over the course of the next 40 minutes or so. As Gakpo coming back from an offside position, Kirkes passing it forward, flags up, free kick to Manchester City.
Yeah, 6:06 you'd think is going to be dominated by whatever happens in this game today, isn't it? Because it's going to have a huge impact for either one of these two clubs.
Yes, it is. As Donnarumma passes the ball out to Aït-Nouri. Back it goes into the full-back position to Gay, who passes it forward, but it hits Marmoush. Bounces away for Liverpool. Alexis McAllister, and forward for the number 7, Wirtz, who's able to work it round the corner to Gravenberch. Szoboszlai is behind him, and then Gravenberch again as Liverpool attack towards the Kop, but then actually go back towards the halfway line. Arne Slot stands and sends some more encouragement out from the edge of his coaching area. Liverpool who have lost only one of their last 16 matches in all competitions. Ball played forward, down into the full-back area. Wirtz is able to take it on, pull it across, but Rodri was there inside the penalty area, only half cleared by Ait Nouri. Salah back to Szoboszlai, hits the shot right-footed, edge of the area with the angle, but it was straight at Donnarumma, who was able to go down and deal with that efficiently.
Better from Liverpool, started sharper in the second half, and you can see the message from the manager, and to get the ball forward quicker with more purpose, rather than the recyclement of possession that we see so often from Liverpool. The wide players turning back in and keeping possession rather than the directness we've seen.
Salah's able to get away from Ait Nouri, then pass the ball just slightly behind Wirtz, who might get it back, might still have it, plays it square. Gakpo, Ekitike across the face of goal and wide of the far post as he looked at it. That was a near thing.
You can tell by Donnarumma's reaction. The big Italian goalkeeper just looks to his left-hand side and looks to the post and says, please go wide. Good play initially down this near side from Mo Salah, and they work the ball from right to left. Liverpool across the Manchester City 18-yard box. The ball ends up at Ekitike without any type of backlift or step into the ball from a standing position. Hits it with the instep, and it's not far wide of Donnarumma's left-hand post.
No, the body language, as you said, Paul, from the goalkeeper did make it look as though that could have ended up in the back of the net, but narrowly wide instead.
That's goalkeeper's language for, I know I'm beaten.
Here's Kirkes, takes it under his cross, over everyone, however. Szoboszlai arrives, Szoboszlai cross, that is just stabbed away on the edge of the area. McAllister was just waiting, but Rodri got there first. Liverpool again, this is their best spell of the match so far. And they have it with Gakpo. Here is McAllister once again. Manchester City have got everyone back, still 0-0 if you've just joined us. And then Wirtz, little touch out to Szoboszlai, and then Wirtz again. Salah just waits on the edge of the area. In fact, it's Gravenberch who does find Salah. Gay goes tight on him. Ait Nouri is there as well. Salah's been able to work it back to Wirtz. Wirtz into the penalty area now, rolls it all the way across, but into the path of Husanov, who with his left instep cleared it away. Kept in by Szoboszlai. Liverpool come again. Wirtz now curling one across. Ekitike, Donnarumma comes, gets a hand to it. The flag's up, even though it didn't fall for Gakpo. Play continues. I don't think the referee's been able to have his attention caught by the assistant, but he has now. The whistle's gone, even though Kirkes took it on. Still playing there, long after the offside flag had gone up. Free kick to Manchester City, still 0-0.
You can tell by the noise inside Anfield already that Liverpool are having by far the best spell of the game. It was a super cross from Florian Wirtz, it really was, onto the head of Ekitike, and Donnarumma comes out, clatters into Ekitike, gets a touch just before the striker, gets the ball out the danger area. I tell you what, if that ended up in the back of the net, that would have been close, because that wasn't an obvious offside.
However, Donnarumma did his job, still goalless. The last 0-0 draw, by the way, between these teams, after I confidently predicted early in the match that it wouldn't be 0-0, was back in 2018. That is the only 0-0 draw in the last 31 league meetings between Liverpool and Manchester City. And the way that the second half has started, you would think that with the players that are out there, that there would be a breakthrough by one or other, or possibly both. Here is O'Reilly, and Ait Nouri's able to take it on away from Szoboszlai, plays it across. Rodri's inside the Marmoush, then Semenyo with a shot which is hit right-footed. Alisson makes the save, just dropping to his right, and then launches one downfield. Mateus Nunes headed away. Ekitike, they've got space now, and they've got a man over. The pass flows slightly behind Salah, and then Ekitike heads it across goal in the 6-yard area. Great work from Salah, and Ekitike, middle of the goal, tried to head it down past Donnarumma, but headed it down past the post as well.
Oh, that's Mo Salah at his absolute best. Superb piece of counter-attacking football from Liverpool. It all came from the goalkeeper, Alisson. It was really well to hold on to a thunderous shot from Semenyo. Releases the ball so quickly. And at one point, Liverpool are 4-on-3 on the edge of the Manchester City box. Ekitike is who lays it out to Salah. He ends up with his back to goal, but with the outside of his left boot, plays the most majestic cross onto the head of Ekitike. And how he's missed that, I've no idea. A striker in form, 6 yards out, free header. It should be 1-0 to Liverpool.
Maybe trying to be too precise.
Trying to find the far corner. Just needed a touch. It was what a ball from Mo Salah, though.
Wasn't it? Left side of the penalty area. He loves that pass, doesn't he? With the outside of his boot. As Wirtz is sent sprawling, and it's a free kick for Liverpool. They play it out towards the left-hand side. Kirkes is there. Kirkes is ball. Chested forward. McAllister. Gakpo was offside. Shot over the bar anyway, under pressure. Flag was up. And actually Husanov has taken a bang in there while he threw himself in with Gakpo. And Donnarumma is quite urgently calling on the Manchester City medical staff. Husanov is moving. He's rolling around on his back, and they're coming on to give him the treatment he needs.
Really brave piece of defending. He wasn't to know that the assistant was going to put the flag up on this near side, put his body on the line in front of Gakpo, stopped an almost certain goal. But once again, Liverpool, you can hear them creating the noise, moving the ball, they're getting it in wide areas, and it's Kirkes this time, puts a super cross in. And McAllister, very clever piece of play on his chest, on the half volley, knocks it down into the 6-yard box to Gakpo, and there's Kusanov. He was just offside, but that was a goal-saving challenge.
Yeah, he threw himself into the path of both the arriving Gakpo and Donnarumma, who was coming out, and I think he was caught in a sandwich between the two of them. And yeah, there's quite a bit of concern. The usual procedure when a player has got a head injury. So it may well be that Manchester City will call for Ruben Dias to come onto the field if Husanov's not able to continue here.
That's 2 or 3 really good chances for Liverpool. They really have stepped up the level in the second half. They've been the better team. Manchester City were very dominant in the first half. However, Arne Slot said at half-time he's got his team playing at a better pace, a better tempo, higher up the field. And what they're doing, they're creating chances a lot quicker than just keeping possession. They're getting in behind, putting crosses into the box. The crosses into the box has been one of the main differences.
Yeah, and Husanov, I'm pleased to say, is actually getting to his feet and is going to walk off the field. So they've it would tend to suggest that he will be coming back on. Meanwhile, I noticed that Craig Pawson, the referee, must be having some problems with his communication, because he's taken the opportunity to come and get rewired.
Just seen that Husanov incident again. It was his head on Donnarumma's right knee as the big goalkeeper came flying out. He caught his own defender full in the face with his right knee. That was a painful one.
Well, that's a heavyweight contest, isn't it? If you're colliding with Donnarumma, and Ruben Dias is being prepared to come onto the field, actually, and not only Ruben Dias, Shirky is coming on as well. Not surprised that we're going to see him come onto the field. But first of all, Pep Guardiola is in close discussions with Husanov, and it looks like the doctor has decided that that's it for Husanov. I mean, Pep Guardiola was talking to Husanov as if, you know, from this distance it almost looked like he was saying, do you feel that you're able to continue? But as you say, Paul, the doctor has called that, so he's off and Ruben Dias is going to replace him.
Do you know what? We don't see that very often, and I like that, because the doctor and the medical staff have made the decision. Husanov clearly wanted to carry on. He's been examined, he's stood there talking to his manager, and the doctor and the physios and the medical team have made that decision. That was a really big clash. You could see the pain that he was in immediately.
So this is the return of Ruben Dias. He's not been involved in, or not played, in the last 9 matches after a thigh injury. And also, as expected, Marmoush, 2 goals in the League Cup semi-final on Wednesday, is going to be replaced by Shirky. He was on a yellow card as well, Marmoush, and so that may have been a factor that he has gone quieter in the match.
Yeah, I think he's had an excellent game the time that he's been on the field. He was a real impact in the first half. It was his runs in behind, worked very well with Erling Haaland. You could see that there was a relationship and an understanding between the two.
And it looks as though, for the time being at least, that Semenyo's going to come across to the left-hand side, and maybe Shirky over to the right. Here he is, Shirky diving for it into the path of Haaland. Konate got a touch, and then Gravenberch fouled by Semenyo. That's a free kick to Liverpool. Half inside their own half. We're into the last half hour, Paul. Still 0-0.
Still bubbling. Can't wait to get home tonight to watch those goals you promised us, John. It's been a cracking game, though. It really has. I mean, for as far as you can go with a 0-0, There's been chances, there's been incidents at both ends, everything but the goal, as you say.
Yes.
Gravenberch, he's feeling that one from Semenyo.
Yes, he
right
is.
down the back of his ankle. It's a painful one.
Yes, you'll be able to see those goals from this match after 8 o'clock tonight. Also, search Football Daily on BBC Sounds. The Premier League review will be on there tonight, and will be on 5 Live at 8:30 this evening as well. Granit Xhaka interview as well on BBC Sounds this weekend. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0.
I watched that last night, that Granit Xhaka interview.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched it. Very good, very insightful. Get to know the person.
So there you are. You can hear it on BBC Sounds. And we're going to bring you the FA Cup commentaries next weekend, starting with Hull City against Chelsea on Friday night. Mr. Ian Dennis is bound for Hull City. So all the commentaries across next weekend from Friday night onwards. Manchester City, who have a tie against Salford at home. And you will be here, won't you, for the match against Brighton on the Saturday night?
I will. Yeah, looking forward to that.
0-0 here in the Premier League. 5 Live in the World Service. Ait Nouri forward. O'Reilly slips it on to Semenyo, who's got some space. Semenyo left side of the area, but the offside flag has been raised. Yes, I was wondering what was happening. It all sort of petered out because the flag had gone and the whistle had gone as well.
And noticeably in this game, the assistants are putting the flag up a lot quicker than we've seen them before.
Ait Nouri still goes. Ait Nouri down the left wing. Szoboszlai going with him. Ait Nouri still in possession. He's been tackled back as well by Florian Wirtz. But the Manchester City man keeps possession. Rodri rolls it across. Rodri, I must say today, has been much more like his old self. And here's Diaz. Might open up. Left foot shot. Flies wide. Well, he sort of shuffled forward with the ball, Ruben Diaz, and then suddenly it was there for him, but the shot was wide.
Just opened up for him. All the Liverpool defence backed off. Before he knew it, it was 22 yards from goal. He struck it on his left foot. A decent height with a lot of pace. Just went wide of Alisson's right-hand post. He went full length after it, though, the Liverpool goalkeeper. I think there was a slight bit of concern when it first left Diaz's foot.
That's Manchester City's first attempt for a little while. Liverpool have created opportunities for Salah, Szoboszlai, a couple for Ekitike. The header was the big chance, and then the Gakpo shot over Oz, who said he was offside. Here is Gakpo now, receives it and then lays it in. Ekitike with a flick, Wirtz with a shot, deflected wide by Gay. That was goal bound, but Mark Gay blocked it on the edge of the 6-yard box. It's a corner instead.
Brilliant football all round. Great piece of attacking play from Liverpool. Quick and direct again when they've looked at the best. Ekitike with a little flick back to Wirtz. First time, looked to be going straight at the goalkeeper. Mark Gay didn't take any chances. In front of his goalkeeper, made the block and concedes the corner. But again, better from Liverpool.
That was a big chance too. Liverpool have really got going here, as they did last week against Newcastle. Corner, Salah takes it to the back post. City defend it well against Van Dijk, who was stretching for it. Ruben Diaz back in the action. Excellent defensive play to head it behind. Another corner from the left.
Markings only, Manchester City. 2, 4, 6 players inside the 6-yard box. 3 or 4 out the 6-yard box, all in zones. Quite easy for Liverpool players to find space if the delivery is correct.
So at the Kop end, with all of those Liverpool flags, liver birds hanging from the side of the stand behind him. Szoboszlai is going to take this right-footed into the near post. Ekitike tries to flick it on. It was Haaland who got there first, actually, to head it away. Ball comes back to Liverpool in centre field. Now here is Salah, left-footed ball into the box. Gay is able to head it away to a teammate in O'Reilly, who draws the foul from Van Dijk. Manchester City free kick, and it remains 0-0. Got two of the great Premier League strikers of recent times on the pitch, and it's still 0-0. Bernardo Silva under pressure. Mark Gay has given it away. Salah has just kept the ball in right on the white line. Gravenberch, the assistant, was right there. Salah works it back again. Liverpool come once more. Szoboszlai goes all the way cross field. High pass that Gakpo chests down and is forced to go all the way back towards the halfway line. And Salah again in possession. Mo Salah, Paul, 1 goal in his last 10 Liverpool appearances. Erling Haaland 2 goals in his last 12 Premier League appearances.
Is that why we're not seeing any goals? Is that what you're saying? I think Mo Salah's been a different player since he's come back from the African Cup of Nations.
And also in the second half as well.
Yeah, I think his attitude and his application and his contribution to the team nearly set up what was a certain goal.
Yes, Elland Road's a distant memory now. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. Free kick on the right for Szoboszlai. In it goes, takes a flick, taken down, Gakpo back outside the area to Gravenberch. Right foot goes for goal, but it flies away high over the top of the crossbar and lands again, I would say, halfway up the cup.
It's another well-worked free kick, and it's another opportunity for Liverpool, this time from distance. Liverpool manager Arne Slot down beneath us. He looks a lot more relaxed than he did in the first half. I think he's had to tweak the system, change a few things, press in different areas, and they've affected the Manchester City game plan.
Yes, just tweaking his trousers at the moment, hitching them up, as Donnarumma and Manchester City take this short goal kick. Long it goes downfield. Van Dijk heads it forward. Szoboszlai, he begins a run, goes past O'Reilly, and then plays it forward to Salah, who went down on the edge of the area. Gay ripped the challenge. Salah fell into the box. Mark Gay is trying to play the innocent. The free kick has been given. I think it was just outside the area. Liverpool are saying it continued into the box. VAR will look at this, but on the field, Craig Pawson's given it as a free kick, and now the players actually, there's a little bit of pushing and shoving, a melee, yellow card for, I'm guessing, Mark Gay. It's never always clear. Referee holds up a yellow card in amongst a crowd of players, but I presume that is for the offence.
It's a clear shirt pull, isn't it?
On the edge of the area.
It does look very close to the edge of the box. Mo Salah's fallen well into the box. It's a lovely ball down the side of Mark Gay. Seeing the replay from the other side, he gets a big handful of Mo Salah's shirt. I mean, he's ripped Mo Salah's shirt. And looking at the onside, whether he's on or offside, Mo Salah. I think the referee was clever there because he knows he's got VAR there. He took his time, he looked over at his assistant, and I don't think he was sure whether it was in or out the box. And he thought, I'll give a penalty here. VAR can look at this and then decide whether it was in the box or not.
Well, the crowd have now seen the VAR logo go up on the electronic screen inside Anfield, and that's given them hope that this might yet be given as a penalty. My feeling is that the contact was and indeed ended outside the area before Salah fell into the box.
I think that's the message that the referee's just delivered to the Liverpool captain, Virgil van Dijk. He's got away with one there, Mark Gay.
However, they are also thinking about a potential denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Salah was breaking into the box. To my mind, the way I remember it, there were defenders there as well. And I think it looks as though this decision is no red card. We're seeing that up now on the screens. I think there were defenders covering defenders in the box.
And I think that's the angle that the ball was leaving Mo Salah as well. I think that comes into play. I was at the Brentford-Newcastle game last night, and there was a penalty that wasn't given because the touch on that the player had was going too far away from goal, that he wasn't going to get to that. Trying to preempt and guess what was going to be in the next phase of play.
So it's a yellow card for Mark Gay, who up to that point was certainly a contender to be man of the match, but he's conceded this free kick. He was caught out there, so it won't be a penalty. It is going to be a free kick. This is near the right corner of the box as Liverpool play. Szoboszlai leaves it to Salah. Salah steps back, Ronaldo-like actually, puts his feet wide apart, hands on his hips. Two-man Manchester City wall. Salah with the left foot goes for goal, and it flies away. I think he was expecting it was going to curl, dip, do all sorts. In fact, it kept going and kept getting higher.
I think in his mind's eye what he was about to do wasn't what happened in the end on Mo Salah. I think from that position there as a goalkeeper, it's one of those that's on an angle. It's a really difficult one. The last thing that you want is a low, hard shot fizzed across the 6-yard box that somebody could get a touch, or it misses everybody and goes in. It's a waste from Mo Salah.
20 minutes to play. Already today we've brought you Brighton 0, Crystal Palace 1. City play the ball back towards Donnarumma. Sure touch from the big goalkeeper. Out to Diaz. Right-footed Haaland up against Van Dijk. And free kick is given for Haaland's challenge on the Liverpool captain. Earlier in the WSL, wins for Arsenal against Manchester City, for Liverpool against Aston Villa, Everton, West Ham both won, and Chelsea won at Tottenham, where Madonna was watching. And as our reporter Paul Gilmore said, with a final score of Tottenham 0, Chelsea 2, apparently Madonna's daughter is in the under-14 setup at Tottenham. Paul said Madonna's been sent home disappointed. Not sure I've used that line before. So, Madonna, if you're listening, cheer up. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. There'll be better days ahead. Alisson, right-footed. Long to Gakpo, who takes this down again, then gets a fortunate bounce of the ball, plays it infield. McAllister, square from him. Gravenberch's onto this, and then Szoboszlai slightly on his heels, so City have got back now. Salah curls it in. Donnarumma gets a good punch on that, above the head of McAllister, and then Gakpo goes down in a crowded area. 3 players around him, gets the free kick, middle of the Manchester City half. Liverpool are cranking up the pressure here, the champions, on Manchester City.
And he's at it today, Mo Salah. You can see he's enjoying himself out there. He's putting pressure on the ball, he's finding spaces, he's putting some lovely balls, some crosses into the box. That time McAllister just can't get there in front of Donnarumma. Lovely balls going into the Manchester City box. They're having to do more and more defending, the visitors.
They are. We're in the 73rd minute. Arsenal, Mikel Arteta said he'd be watching this, said he was going to go and have a nice dinner last night and then was going to watch this afternoon. Liverpool win this, and that is another very good weekend for Arsenal. Szoboszlai, it's 0-0 right now though. Szoboszlai though with this free kick. This is 30 yards, isn't it?
It's a long way.
Yeah.
It's a long way, but the way that Liverpool are lined up is either going to do one of those dinks to the far post or he's taking this on.
Szoboszlai staring down at the ball. Up he comes, right-footed free kick, blasts it. Oh, it's in! Liverpool in front against Manchester City, and that free kick from Szoboszlai looked to bend all over the place. Donnarumma barely moved. Szoboszlai with a goal, and it's Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0.
Oh, he took it on all right. He took it on and he smashed it into the top left-hand corner of Donnarumma's goal. We said it was a long way. What a fantastic strike that is from Szoboszlai. Listen to the noise inside Anfield. Donnarumma didn't move. Went in the top left-hand corner off the inside of the post. 2 men in his wall. It goes up, over, dips, swerves, bends away. It's an incredible strike. It's a knuckleball. It's got dip and swerve, pace and power. What a free kick.
Well, it's almost like the ball had a mind of its own. And it clipped the inside of the post on the way past Donnarumma. And he could only stand and watch it. Liverpool lead Manchester City by 1-0. And Arsenal sitting pretty with their 9-point lead at the top.
John, I can't wait to get home and watch those goals you promised us. What a goal that is. That's up for a goal of the season already. It's one of those where you just look and you say, we can't do anything about that. It's an incredible strike. 2 men in the wall, the goalkeeper could see it all the way. That's a free kick you'll never get tired of watching.
That actually brings to mind, it's not exactly the same, but it brings to mind, I think it was Portsmouth, wasn't it, Ronaldo. At Old Trafford. Yeah, and Ronaldo, David James in goal. And that was a dipper, wasn't it? Whereas this was a swerver.
Semenyo's just tapped him on the back, just seeing the shot of the pair of them walking off. He just looked at him and shook his head. What a strike.
So there we are. What a way to make the breakthrough. Szoboszlai's 9th goal of the season. And what a view. Can you imagine being behind that in the Cup, watching that? Free kick, that ball heading your way. That must have been a magnificent sight.
Well, we're obviously side on, aren't we? You could see the ball move from here, but it wasn't until we got the replay from behind Szoboszlai and behind the goal. You see the incredible movement on the football.
So it's Manchester City who, remember, as we told you, Manchester City are yet to score in the second half of a Premier League match in 2026. Well, that's got to end now. But they've shown enough to suggest that they might be able to do that. Of course they have. But Liverpool have really stepped it up in the second half here, and they deserved a goal.
how to make a mood change in a side of stadium very quickly. You hear the noise from the home supporters now. I believe maybe just starting to creep back in the manager.
Here's Semenyo. Then across to Rodri. Rodri's passed through the middle. Haaland, remember, yet to score. Haaland for Manchester City here at Anfield, and he wasn't able to latch onto that, and it ran away through all the way to Alisson. Anfield in great voice. Scarves being twirled in the Kop all around the stadium. They're hungrily looking for another one. Kirkes's cross into the penalty area, headed away by Gay. Comes out to the man of the moment, the goal scorer, Szoboszlai. Salah, back to Szoboszlai in the box. Back heel from him. Ekitike in the area, has to take it away, back towards the edge of the box. Back to Gravenberch. Liverpool turning it on now. Confidence brimming, having taken the lead. And the champions now across to Gravenberch, edge of the area. And then McAllister got a touch. Szoboszlai again, they want him to shoot. No, he plays it to Wirtz. Wirtz angles it back across the area, but it hits Gay, bounces down. And Ait Nouri, I think, is going to win a free kick. He is. Salah's furious, but felt the contact, went down. Free kick, Manchester City. The score, Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0 on 5 Live Premier League Sunday and the World Service.
Can't believe the amount of times they keep replaying this free kick on the monitors in front of us. It's one of them that you will never get tired of watching. The movement on the ball, and that's a talent, that's a real skill. You know, that's practiced. You hit an area with the ball, you place the ball down. No, there's no valves on them, but they place the ball down in a certain way and strike a certain part of the ball to be able to do that.
Yes, watch it on Match of the Day tonight, or indeed when the goals become available at 8 o'clock on the iPlayer and the BBC Sport website. A thing to behold. Szoboszlai's goal. Manchester City up against it now. Here at Anfield, a raucous Anfield. Bernardo Silva down the line to Semenyo, and then Semenyo manhandles Konate to the ground. Free kick, Konate gets up, and the supporters, it's like the Colosseum down there. Konate gets up, punches the air, tells the supporters in the stands to react, and react they do.
Something to cheer about those Liverpool fans in this second half, because they've been well worth the goal. They've played a lot better in the second half, and you've got to give the manager credit for the way that he's adapted, because Manchester City have come here today with a different setup, maybe one that Arne Slot wasn't expecting. His team were outplayed in certain areas in the first half, but he's made changes in the second half and he's affected it. His in-game management has been good.
On our screen here, they're still showing the goal over and over and over again, and they've just shown a shot of Peter Schmeichel, who's here working for TV, looking at a screen as if to say, now how would I have saved that? He'd always back himself, Peter, wouldn't he? But Donnarumma, he looked like one of those goalkeepers from World Cup 78 when balls were flying in from all sorts of distances, as I'm sure you remember. Here's Diaz square to Shirky. Shirky 25 yards out, Liverpool deal with him. This is the first time Liverpool have had to defend for some little while. 1-0 the score, time running out for Manchester City. Shirky trying to find a position, edge of the D. Liverpool players converge on him. Somebody got a foot in, Gakpo I think it was. Back to Kirkes. Kirkes hits one downfield for Salah to chase. Diaz wins that in the air. Red shirts pouring forward for Liverpool. Here's Wirtz does well. He's becoming a bit of a favourite, Wirtz, after his quiet start. Back to Alisson, who just got that clearance away in front of Semenyo to Gravenberch, and then Szoboszlai hits a pass in field. The falling Diaz heads that forward, and now Semenyo carries the ball back into his own half. 10 minutes to play, Paul.
The falling Diaz, I like that one, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I think the game's going to take a shape now with Manchester City obviously dominating possession. They're going to look to try and get back in this, but Liverpool will have so much of a threat on the break. You look at the pace that they've got in the attacking areas, they'll sit deep in a defensive shape, try and hold out now as we're into the last 10 minutes, but they do still pose a threat going forward, because Manchester City are going to have to commit bodies.
Yep, he's got the dangerous Shirky on the field now. Things expected from him. Semenyo, who's been quite quiet actually, hasn't he?
Second half, definitely.
Yeah. Although, really for Manchester City, it's largely been a back foot operation in the second half. Liverpool drop back into their own half. Mark Gay, left-footed, out towards the far side. And then Bernardo Silva can get so far and no further, and Liverpool clear it downfield. So 1-0 it is. On 5 Live, the lines are open for 606 on 08085 909 693. You can call free from mobiles and landlines. It's a Sunday night, so it's Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Text 85058. Semenyo with a flick. Comes to nothing for Manchester City. Gravenberch has it back. Also get in touch, hashtag BBC 606 to join in with Robbie and Chris tonight, as there's a coming together between Gakpo and Diaz off the ball, but the referee ignores that. Here's Shirky now down the right wing in front of the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand, with darkness having closed in. The name of the stand is illuminated in red at the top. Manchester City. A little ball from Bernardo Silva into the area, bounces off Semenyo. Van Dijk is able to clear it away. Manchester City 3-0 winners at the Etihad Stadium against Liverpool in November, but this is shaping up to be Liverpool's day here. 1-0 only at the moment, but Liverpool, as Manchester City press, they're coming forward on the counter-attack, and it's chipped across, but Gay was in front of Salah on the edge of the area. Diaz then runs into Wirtz, but the ball runs back into the penalty area where Gay can pass it away and play it away. If it's going to come for Manchester City a goal here, it's going to come quite late. Haaland though gets his head down, sets off on a run, then passes the ball to Semenyo, who allows it to run. Haaland, I can see him frustrated in the middle. He wanted the return from Semenyo and it didn't come. Now here is Rodri, and Liverpool are back in position now. Diaz is able to shuffle forward with it. Curtis Jones coming on for Liverpool next time the ball goes out of play. Ait Nouri just rolls his foot over the ball, passes it infield to Rodri. This is quite ponderous from Manchester City. Liverpool are quite happy with this. City will have to try and find a way through. Gay curls one in, headed away by Van Dijk. Comes out to be chested down by Mateus Nunes. Pep Guardiola still got Phil Foden on the bench, Paul, as the ball's crossed into the penalty area. Haaland gets up, and it is stretch and in! It's the equaliser from Bernardo Silva. The little header on from Haaland. There's no offside flag. And going left foot first, Bernardo Silva found a way past Alisson to make it 1-1.
Oh, he's brave, Bernardo Silva. He's really brave. Manchester City given too much time and space on the edge of the box. The ball's crossed in and Haaland does really well. He goes back on himself and he beats Konate to the header, heads it in behind the defensive line of Liverpool, and Bernardo Silva slides in front of Alisson, collides into the goalkeeper but gets there first, pokes it into the net with his left foot, and they look like they've found a way back into this game.
Well, they have found a way, Manchester City. And he's still on a slot, still going to make that change, with Curtis Jones coming on for Cody Gakpo, even though they've just conceded the equaliser, with what for Bernardo Silva is his long-awaited first Premier League goal of the season, second in all competitions, and it's made it Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1.
Yeah, he's a trusted player for Pep Guardiola, isn't he? He's one that plays regularly week in and week out, rarely brings him off. And you can see his work rate today.
Long and forward for Liverpool from Szoboszlai, but Donnarumma comes and makes the catch. So with this scoreline, Arsenal's lead will be down to 8 points tonight. But Manchester City, what have we got? We've got 5 minutes to play. And it is still the match that both teams really want to win. So it could be brace yourself time for the final minutes of this match.
And Pep Guardiola down beneath us, he's so animated. He wants his team to go forward. He's pointing them forward. He wants pace, he wants quicker, and he wants his team attacking Liverpool. He knows they've got to win this game.
Yeah, it would be quite the shock turnaround after the Szoboszlai thrilling free kick to give Liverpool the lead, but Bernardo Silva with the goal to make it all square. Rodri, his pass though, straight into the path of Szoboszlai. Gravenberch bounces off him back to Szoboszlai, now centre field. Jones almost finds the pass, cut out by Gay. Now Manchester City might come forward. Mateus Nunes, high one for Haaland to chase. Konate got there first, headed away by Van Dijk, but Jones was back in there for Liverpool, and then a foul on Gravenberch. But the referee's going to play the advantage with Liverpool in possession and coming forward with Kerkez. He's got Wirtz ahead of him. Instead, he goes out towards Ekitike, who's over there on the left-hand side. Then it comes back infield. Curtis Jones, little tap back to McAllister. Now Szoboszlai, he's going to have another go, but it's blocked by Mark Gay, and the ball ricochets almost all the way back towards the halfway line, where it's Konate is able to take it away from Semenyo, and then it bounces out for a throw-in way down below us to Liverpool.
Mark Gay's positional sense is one of the best that I've seen in a long time. He puts himself in areas of danger, makes some really clever interceptions and challenges.
And here he is doing exactly that as Paul Robinson speaks, to step into Salah and just chop the ball out of play. 1-1 the score. Szoboszlai taking the throw to Wirtz. Szoboszlai just trying to win another throw in, but actually it hit O'Reilly, bounced off the Liverpool man, and it's a throw into Manchester City, and he throws the ball down in frustration, the Hungarian Szoboszlai. Well, it was a goal from Szoboszlai worthy of winning any match, but a bit of craft from Shirky with the ball in, little header forward won by Haaland, and an acute finish really from Bernardo Silva means that right now it's just a point apiece.
It was a clever header from Haaland. When you see the assist, he's had to take himself out the centre of the goal around the 6-yard box. He's actually gone towards the edge of the 18-yard box, headed it back into the dangerous area for Silva to get on the end of.
Semenyo, Bernardo Silva, this is halfway inside Liverpool territory, but Rodri is able to take possession and knock it back into his own half. Diaz then all the way back to Donnarumma, long and right-footed, but Van Dijk is underneath that, sends a big header all the way back into the Manchester City half, and then there's a foul by Kirkes on Shirky. This is it's a refreshing change, isn't it, watching two teams who want to just get on with it
and going at it.
Yeah.
And do you know what, it's been a good match when you sat approaching the 89th minute. The doors to the stadium are opening, all the concourses are open, and not one person has left.
No, faces peering down from all sections of Anfield. Liverpool, Gravenberch to Szoboszlai, high cross into the penalty area. Salah with a header, he was readjusting really, it was slightly behind him, so from 13 yards out with the twist he could only head it up and over.
Yeah, great description, that's exactly what he was. It was a ball in from Szoboszlai, just behind Mo Salah. He tried to get some kind of connection on it, but it was just too far behind him.
More live sports on 5 Live tonight. It's just the Super Bowl, 11 o'clock, 5 Live, Seattle against New England, and lots of midweek Premier League action that we will bring you on 5 Live Sport during our midweek programmes. 7 minutes are going to be added on at the end of this match. Still plenty of time for one or other to win it. Shirky with a long pass. Semenyo's onto this inside the penalty area. Semenyo on the stretch works it across, but Alisson was able to drop on it. Bernardo Silva trying to be a nuisance and stop him delivering it downfield, and in the end he mishits it after all of that and gives possession back to Manchester City. And now it is Rodri, the Ballon d'Or winner of 2024, but Liverpool in position force him to pass it back towards the halfway line. So we're in the 90th minute. We're going to see that board very shortly, and when the number 7 comes up on that, you'll hear a big roar from the Liverpool supporters who'll think there is time to win this and beat Manchester City. It's been quite a contest, a proper heavyweight contest. Mateus Nunes then forward towards Shirky. There is the roar of encouragement, although it is Manchester City in possession at the moment. Bernardo Silva flips over. Mateus Nunes, as Alisson comes out, tried to work it past him. The question is, did Alisson foul Mateus Nunes? Yes, I think the penalty has been given to Manchester City. Well, gasps of shock around Anfield. Alisson coming out, Mateus Nunes, he burst out of the penalty area of the 6-yard box to his left, and Mateus Nunes just got a touch on it. Alisson had already committed, the ball had gone, and the Liverpool goalkeeper brought down the player.
We don't say this very often, he got that all wrong, Alisson. It was an angle, there was no need for him to come that far, there was no danger to his goal. It was a super ball over the top from Bernardo Silva into the onrushing Nunes. He was about 8 yards out on the angle, the ball could have even been running out of play. Nunes got the tiniest of touches over it, and the goalkeeper had already committed, went sliding into him on the wet pitch, clattered into him, and the referee had no choice.
And actually, we've got a stoppage because Mateus Nunes, after that, went sliding off the pitch and has collided with the hoardings. So he's off the pitch, needing some treatment. Meanwhile, near the penalty spot, and we are now in the second minute of added time, Erling Haaland waits. Semenyo is protecting the penalty spot. There are a couple of Liverpool players there as well, so he's going to have a long time to think about this. Szoboszlai is chatting away to him, but the Norwegian Iceman is doing his best to happily ignore that with a sort of smirk on his face.
He's having a real go, Szoboszlai. I'm no lip reader, but I think he just said, when was the last time you missed a penalty?
Which was against Liverpool in the match at the Etihad back in November when Mamadashvili made the save. Now also, in addition, I can tell you that Manchester City have failed with 4 of their last 5 Premier League penalties against Liverpool. But this is massive for Manchester City to stay in touch with Arsenal.
By the way, John, what a moment. One of, if not the biggest moments of the season so far. This is massive.
Liverpool were leading 1-0 up after that Szoboszlai free kick. But Manchester City hold themselves level, and now in the third minute of added time we're ready. Haaland can step back 3-4 paces. Alisson on the line. Haaland scores! Places it into the bottom left corner and races away and kicks a ball off the cone, and in front of the Manchester City fans, he's surrounded by his teammates. The City fans pour forward. 2-1 City lead, having been 1-0 down against the champions, and they are staying in touch with Arsenal with this scoreline. Liverpool 1, Manchester City 2, and Haaland scoring for Manchester City at Anfield for his team for the first time, and is yellow carded too for tearing off his shirt. Well, wow, that is drama.
Big moment in the season, and what a man for the occasion. It's a really well taken penalty from Erling Haaland. He knows exactly what he's doing. He doesn't change his mind. Left footed, hard and low into the goalkeeper's bottom right hand corner. Alisson goes the right way, but the penalty struck that well with his instep. The goalkeeper can't get near it. The Manchester City end to our left erupts. They believe they're back in a title race.
Clinging on in the race after this turnaround. And Liverpool 1, Manchester City 2. I think the 4th minute of added time that goal was scored in, and Liverpool now trying to come from behind themselves. Ball in from the left-hand side. It's actually been given as the 3rd minute of added time. Liverpool with Salah on the right. Salah back towards Szoboszlai. In it goes, right-footed into the City area. Chested out. Gravenberch now. Gravenberch over there to the left side of the box. Still Liverpool with the cross in from Chiesa, who's come onto the field as a substitute, too close to Donnarumma. Chiesa came on for Kirkes. Nathan Ake is on as well for Semenyo. And we are now in the 5th minute of added time. Ake just waiting to come on, actually, for Semenyo. Konate with the ball in his full-back position, passes it forward. And it's won back by Semenyo, but the ball deflects out of play. Well, this is going to be celebrated in some style by the Manchester City supporters. Remember, they've won 1 of their last 22 Premier League matches here at Anfield, Manchester City against Liverpool. And just going to check on the timing of that Bernardo Silva goal as the ball is played back to Alisson. So it was the 84th minute. So Liverpool were 1-0 up in the 84th minute. Now Manchester City lead by 2-1.
John, what an advert for the Premier League. We've had everything today. We've had late drama, we've had superb goals, we've had incident, and we've still got, 3 or 4 minutes to go, and Liverpool are pushing.
Yeah, Liverpool obviously have not given this up yet. Liverpool come forward with, here is Chiesa on the left-hand side. His ball back towards the edge of the box. Square to Gravenberch. Gravenberch on the edge of the D, but 2 City players quickly closed him down. Then back to Szoboszlai. as well. You know, if Manchester City win this now, what it would do for their belief. And actually Rodri plays it into the path of Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri sprinting from inside his own half. Now he's into the penalty area at the other end. Shoots, saved by Alisson, and he's parried it back out into the box. And now Liverpool will look to counter-attack themselves. Forward it goes, out there on the left-hand side. Liverpool facing what would be their 8th Premier League defeat of the season for the champions. And now winning a free kick 15 yards inside the Manchester City half after that challenge on Wirtz.
They were 3-on-1 at that point, Manchester City. Ait-Nouri, they had a counter-attack. They were 3-on-1. He made the wrong decision. He took it into the angle, fired the shot at Alisson. He had Erling Haaland, and I think it was Nunez running in at the far post. That was the chance to finish the game there and then.
And that challenge there on Wirtz, I mean, he was fouled twice, but I think Bernardo Silva with the first of them. Free kick in. Ake, who's on the field now, heads that away, bounces across the penalty area. Liverpool play it back out towards Gravenberch. Gravenberch's ball curling into the box. That's headed away as well. But Szoboszlai will be able to move across, pass it out to the right-hand side. Liverpool, who were superb really in the second half, really upped their performance. We're winning 1-0, but now 2-1 down, and then the cross is deflected, stays in, didn't bounce out of play. Chiesa is convinced that it bounced out off Mateus Nunez. The officials say it didn't, and Manchester City have got it away out of play. Alisson actually comes and takes the throw in himself on the halfway line. Oh, and Alisson stumbled, and Bernardo Silva was almost in there. I mean, it was 50 yards from goal, and Liverpool with Gravenberch high and forward. Haaland trying to defend it, comes out, bounces down for the shot. Oh, what a save by Donnarumma from McAllister's shot. It was deflected, and Donnarumma, I could have sworn it was past him, but the big man extended himself and clawed it wide.
Save of the season, what a save. Deflected shot from McAllister, up and over the big goalkeeper. He looks beaten, he somehow reaches back, gets a great big claw on it and scoops it out for a corner kick for Liverpool. What a save.
Here comes the corner. Donnarumma comes, gets a right fist to this one and punches it down and away. We're in the 9th minute of added time. Salah across, that's headed away. Bounces just outside the D. A stretch by Ait-Nouri. Chiesa brilliantly pulls that down. And then Salah lifts it back into the box, headed away. Ekitike, it won't come down. Salah as well, dancing into the box. Lots of bodies in there. Shouts for a penalty inside the area as Wirtz goes down. I mean, players were diving in from all sections, and that they could have a case there. Liverpool are saying to referee Pawson, what about that for a penalty?
I think it was a really good piece of defending again from Mark Gay. Referee's got his hand to his ear, he's taking instructions.
Alisson's gone up as well. Last ball forward, there's no one in goal for Liverpool. Shirky's got the ball down and he's passed it goalwards. Haaland's going to get there first. Szoboszlai pulls him back, and then the ball rolls into the net. Shirky scores. 3-1 Manchester City. Alisson committed downfield. Liverpool had to go for it, and Manchester City have clinched it now. Some Manchester City fans have come onto the pitch. They're being surrounded by stewards, but away from that, the Manchester City players, what a comeback that is. 84th minute, Liverpool were 1-0 down. Now Manchester City are leading by 3 goals to 1.
Absolute scenes, incredible scenes here at Anfield. The away team bench has spilled out onto the pitch. The away support are all spilled forward. Erling Haaland ended up in a foot race with Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai pulled his shirt, got in behind him. The goalkeeper Alisson had committed himself forward. It was an empty net, it was a ball forward from Cherki over the top, but it all comes off the back of that superb save from Donnarumma. He's won his team the match with that save. Quick counter-attack down the other end, and there was nobody there for Liverpool. You could understand why they'd committed bodies forward. They were trying to get something from the game, and it was Haaland and Szoboszlai in a straight foot race. Szoboszlai pulls Haaland, Haaland pulls Szoboszlai, and the ball just ends up in the back of the net.
That's what an extraordinary last 20 minutes plus added time we've seen. I mean, Haaland and Szoboszlai fouling each other as the ball quietly rolled from, well, I mean, where did he hit it? In the centre circle, I think it was, that Cherki actually passed the ball goalwards with Alisson away downfield at the other end. And now the referee is being called across to have a look at this. I mean,
Surely the initial foul was Szoboszlai, though, wasn't it?
Szoboszlai on Haaland.
This is going to be given as a foul from Szoboszlai on Haaland. Liverpool were complaining that Haaland pulled back Szoboszlai to get there, but actually Haaland was goal side of Szoboszlai. I think they'll be checking here to see if Szoboszlai will be sent off.
Yeah, well, he would have been denying a goal, even though the ball was rolling goalwards. It wasn't in the net. So that is probably the denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity.
They were both definite fouls, both of them. Yes. But Haaland had got goal side of Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai was pulling Haaland back. Szoboszlai stopped Haaland tapping a ball into an empty net. That was the initial foul, surely.
Yeah, the initial foul was by the Liverpool man Szoboszlai on Haaland.
Here we go.
And the referee is stepping away now. We'll have the announcement coming. There is the rectangle in the air. He's just sorting out his microphone.
There is a careless foul at early conduct shown to the top line. Prior to that, Szoboszlai commits a holding defence that denies an non-physical scoring opportunity. The final decision is a direct free kick to Manchester City and a red card.
Free kick to Manchester City.
The infringement was outside the box, wasn't it? A red card for denying the goal-scoring opportunity, because that was the initial foul for Szoboszlai, and he's saying that the offence took place outside the box. But the fourth official just explaining it to a bemused Pep Guardiola beneath us.
Well, I can understand the bemusement, because the ball ended up rolling into the net.
Straight in.
Well, I'm not sure the players quite get this.
I don't think the referees, look at this, it's carnage. The benches are all talking to the fourth official. The referee's surrounded by nearly every single outfield player. Didn't help that his microphone didn't really work, did it?
But we got the message in the end. And Szoboszlai is sent off. We know that, because he committed the first foul. And the referee is walking downfield. So the score remains Liverpool 1, Manchester City 2.
And he's given a direct free kick from a similar distance as to what Szoboszlai crashed his one in for. But I'm sure Manchester City won't be having a shot at goal from here. They will just want to run that clock down now, because we are well over the 100 minutes.
I'm still going to need this explained to me, why that goal didn't stand.
Because of the infringement. Because he's given the foul before the ball ended up in the net, hasn't he? He's brought it back for the initial infringement.
Well, I can understand why Pep Guardiola is thinking, surely this should be 3-1.
Because neither of them got to the ball or touched it.
Yeah, but I'm guessing the referee must have blown his whistle.
Possibly.
Even though we couldn't hear it in the aftermath.
This is one of the strangest attacking free kick setups you'll ever see as well.
It is. Manchester City leading by 2-1. So the goal was ruled out, and the free kick is taken and is from Shirky, disappears over the top of the goal. So the goal's been ruled out. So the red card is given because Szoboszlai denied a clear goal-scoring opportunity. There is the final whistle, but the goal was ruled out because of the foul then by Haaland. So the final score, Liverpool 1, Manchester City 2, and what a crazy end to that match.
What a brilliant game of football. Literally everything. We use that phrase quite often, don't we? Oh, that game had everything. That game genuinely did. And if you're out and about and you're going home tonight, make sure you go and watch that, because that's a treat. That is a true example of Premier League football. Two big heavyweight teams going at it, trying to win 3 points for their team. Nobody sitting back. Defences were opened up. Attacking play was good. It took the game a little while to get going, but by when it did get going, it was something special.
And those last 20 minutes, plus added time, the amazing free kick from Szoboszlai. Liverpool still leading 1-0 in the 84th minute, when we saw that Cherky pass, the header on from Haaland, the finish from Bernardo Silva, and then the penalty incident, Alisson conceding the penalty on Mateus Nunes. Erling Haaland tucked it away. The Donnarumma save from the deflected McAllister shot to keep it at 2-1 Manchester City, and then that absolutely crazy late incident resulting in the sending off of of Szoboszlai, who'd scored so brilliantly. And at that point, Anfield thought that was it. That was the match winner. That was going to beat Manchester City. And instead, at the end of that, we have Manchester City's players, led by Erling Haaland, who scored his 28th goal for City this season, running across with his arms raised towards the Manchester City fans. And the message there from them looks pretty clear to me here at Anfield, from the City players to their supporters. We're still in this. 6 points the Arsenal lead after all that.
Interesting to see what that does confidence-wise for Manchester City going forward as well. It's all about putting runs together at this stage of the season, and a massive result like that, a huge confidence boost in victory. How does that stand them instead going into their next few fixtures?